Chapter 652. Sometimes a lot of people cared about how high you flew, but very few cared about how tired you were. Suyu asked, "Are you okay?" Hwamin was very grateful. "I'm fine. Don't worry about that. You can withstand as much slander as praise." Suyu actually knew how to use chicken soup for the soul. Hwamin smiled. "Don't worry, I'm in a good mood. I knew something like this would happen when we exposed ourselves." Chu was a bit brainless this time. "Isn't it good to keep your marriage a secret? Why did he have to go public? Isn't he trying to attract hate for you?" So you didn't understand Chu's actions this time. Did he love Hwamin or hurt Hwamin? If he wanted to protect her, he had to keep a low profile. Why did he have to go live? "It's good to go public. Sooner or later, I won't be able to hide it." I walked the red carpet at GK Film and Television's opening ceremony, and a lot of media outlets are already digging into it. Rather than letting others expose me, I might as well admit it myself. "Okay, if you need anything, remember to call me." "Thank you." Then, the two fell silent. After Hwamin copied the post, she posted it on her WeChat friend circle. Zhu Lingling immediately liked it. "I'll always support you, my beautiful girl." The Qin clan couple has been torturing single people for 30 years. Haha, they specialize in torturing single people like us. Gao Ran continued to tease her. "Sis, I support you. Hang in there," Jixin commented. "Senior sister, you can do it. You're the best, moi." "Head nurse, you can do it. Head nurse, we love you. Head nurse, you're the best in the universe." The following were comments from the nurses at Southside. Just then, another comment appeared. "Sister Mion, remember one thing. No matter how you live your life, we only have one goal. Don't go against your heart, and don't regret it. Also, go fuck yourself, and go fuck yourself. Do whatever you want." This was Ni Yang's comment. This was the first time the gloomy superstar had cursed. Luckily, only Hwamin could see it. "I'm fine. Don't worry. Your big sister Hwamin is an unkillable cockroach," Hwamin replied. After Qin Chu finished his work in the study, he received a phone call. "President Qin, we found that person's IP address. It's in a dilapidated residential area in the north. But when our people arrived, that person had already run away. It seems that he came prepared." "Okay, continue to check her IP address. If you can't find it, check the online accounts of those paid posters." Then, Qin Chu made a few more calls to influential media outlets. The media started to publish articles that cleared Hua Min's name. But at this time, another incident pushed the matter to a climax. Lady Qin was interviewed by a small newspaper. Then, she made it clear that Hwamin wasn't her ideal daughter-in-law, and that she didn't think highly of their marriage. She also said that her son might have been confused and wouldn't admit that Hwamin was part of the Qin family. Like a stone that stirred up 1,000 ripples. Lady Qin's words had a lot of lethality. After all, she was someone with a high status. After Qin Chu finished reading the interview, his face turned green. He immediately called his mother's phone, but it was turned off. Then he called her home. The nanny picked up. "Young master." "Where's my mom?" "Put her on the phone." "She's not here. She went out and hasn't come back yet." "What about my dad?" "Master is upstairs." "Put my dad on the phone." Qin Chu suppressed his anger. His mother adding to the mess at a time like this made him completely furious. He couldn't tolerate Hwamin being wronged even a little bit. "Dad, what's the situation with my mom?" "She's probably very upset because you announced your marriage. She keeps saying that she was slapped in the face and that she didn't know how to explain it to those rich people." "Where's she?" "She went out and hasn't come back yet." "Okay, I got it." After speaking, Qin Chu hung up the phone. Wei Liao and the others quickly saw the interview and said, "Lady Qin is slapping her son in the face. She really hit him hard this time. Hwamin is in trouble now." His mother-in-law publicly refused to acknowledge him, causing Hwamin's status in the Qin family to plummet. "Lord Su, what do you think about this?" Wei Liao looked at Suyu. Chapter 653. "I'm not Yuan Fong. Don't ask me what I think," Suyu teased as he played with his phone. Hwamin's road to becoming rich is full of twists and turns. I don't think her mother-in-law is easy to deal with. She's not as nice as your auntie. Of course, my mom said that as long as I have a grandson, she doesn't care where I go. She doesn't care if I'm with a man or not. Your auntie is so open-minded. Although the Chin family is a big business, it's still not as big as the Su family. After all, your grandfather is the head of the military. But even so, your family is really lax. My family is stricter than yours. I'm jealous. Wei Liao was telling the truth. The Su family's way of educating their children was free range. There was only one Su Yu in this generation, so they spoiled him even more. No matter how unreliable he was, the Su family wouldn't step in to stop him. Of course, Lord Su said that Su Yu could play around, but he would never allow him to do anything outrageous. So, other than the fact that Lord Su loved to burn money and chase girls, he had a good reputation. When Lady Qin slapped Qin Shu and Huamin's secret marriage, the news spread like wildfire. When Qin Shu returned to the bedroom, Huamin was already lying on the bed, playing games on her phone. She didn't seem to be affected by the news. Honey, yeah? Did you see the news? Which one? Huamin asked nonchalantly as she played her game. The interview my mom just did, Qin Shu said, suppressing his anger. Oh, I saw it. Huamin was very calm. Lady Qin didn't like her for a day or two. It would be scary if she said how much she liked her in an interview. Her direct dislike of her made Huamin feel a lot better. You're not mad? Qin Shu asked tentatively. Why would I be mad? It's not like it's the first time your mom is like this. Huamin smiled. I'm sorry. I didn't think she'd be so naughty. She's already so old. Qin Shu walked over and picked Huamin up from the bed. Huamin threw her phone onto the bed and hugged Qin Shu's neck coquettishly. So, how are you going to make it up to me? We did it twice today. Does that count as compensation? Qin Shu's lips curled up as he looked at her gently. Huamin. Before Huamin's words, Huamin. Well, of course, es huestes I'm. Huamin's, toot and mean. Young master, you're back. Is my mom back? Qin Shu asked faintly. She just came back. She's upstairs. Okay. Qin Shu went upstairs and pushed open the bedroom door. Lady Qin was proudly talking to her husband about something. She was surprised to see her son. Chu, why didn't you tell me you were coming so late? Mom, what do you want? Qin Shu frowned slightly and spoke in a harsh tone. I didn't do anything. What's wrong with me? Lady Qin said nonchalantly as she took off her scarf. It's a fact that I married Huamin. It's also a fact that I hate her. What's wrong with that? Just because you like her, does that mean the whole world likes her? Lady Qin suddenly raised her voice and yelled. Qin Shu looked at his mother with a slightly disappointed expression after hearing what she said. Chapter 654. Mom, I thought you were just angry at me for hiding the truth from you. No matter how bad Huamin is, she's still part of our family. I can't believe you teamed up with an outsider to expose our dirty laundry. It's fine if you don't care about our reputation, but you also don't care about the company's reputation. That's quite a ruthless move. I didn't want to disregard the company's reputation. If you were thinking about the company, you shouldn't have married Huamin. Don't lecture me. Although I don't know anything about managing a company, I still understand the principles. Lady Qin couldn't stand her son defending Huamin. Therefore, she was also angry. Every time her son said something, she would refute it. Fine, if you say that, then I have nothing else to say. Before you think things through, I don't think we'll be coming back to this house. After Qin Shu spoke, he turned around and left. Hey, stop right there. No matter how much Lady Qin yelled, Qin Shu refused to stop. Young master, I made some sweet soup. The maid said weakly as she stood guard by the stairs. I'm not eating. After saying this, Qin Shu coldly left the house. He basically said that he wouldn't come back until he forgave them. Say something. Are you mute? Look at your spoiled son. Lady Qin vented her anger on her husband. Qin Yuman was reading a history book. He was wearing reading glasses and seemed a lot calmer. I'm not the only one who spoiled my son. Plus, I don't think he did anything wrong. He managed the company very well and handled the accident in T-City very well. I'm very satisfied. What's the point of that? A successful career doesn't mean everything. Look at what kind of woman your good son chose, huh? Open your eyes wide and take a good look. Lady Qin roared. Qin Yuman took off his reading glasses and looked at his wife. What's wrong with Huamin? Other than the fact that she didn't come from a good family and didn't go to a good university, what's wrong with her? She's not good at all. She doesn't look good, and she has a bad temper. You don't know how rude she is to me. You respect me, and I'll respect you. You treated her like that, and she's treating you nicely. Do you think she's a fool? Qin Yumin retorted. All right, you're all against me, aren't you? I really can't live anymore. Sister Lan, Lady Qin shouted. Madam, clean up the guest room. I'm going to sleep in the guest room. Lady Qin walked out as she spoke. This. The maid looked at Qin Yumin awkwardly. Let her be. Qin Yumin was used to his wife throwing tantrums. He had tolerated her bad temper all these years, but now that she was older, she was getting more and more out of hand. Not only did he meddle in the affairs of the younger generation, he even slapped his own son's face. He was getting more and more overboard. Lady Qin's revelations did add a lot of dirt on Huomin. Zhu Lingling and Zhixin both sent Huomin a WeChat message and asked about it. However, Huomin was very calm and said that it was nothing. The next morning, Huomin went to work as usual. The employees at Southside seemed to be used to this, and they all knew Huomin's personality. Only a few gossipy people would talk about it in private. No one else would talk about this matter anymore. At noon, things took a turn for the worse. The reason was that Hua Zhenghai personally confirmed Huomin's identity. He even said that he and Huomin's mother were in love and that she wasn't a mistress. He also said that they broke up peacefully because of differences in their personalities and that Huomin had always been the daughter of the Hua family. As for Lady Qin's disagreement, Hua Zhenghai replied, We don't ask about young people's views on love. As long as my daughter likes it, that's her freedom. Everyone thinks that their children are good for themselves. Lady Qin thinks that my daughter isn't good enough for Qin Shu, but I also think that Qin Shu isn't good enough for my daughter. These words were like a slap to Lady Qin's face. As soon as the words came out, they were reposted by all the major media outlets. Chapter 655. Who would have thought that Hua Zhenghai, as a father, would speak up for Huomin one day? However, Huomin wasn't happy at all. She knew that Hua Zhenghai would never do anything that would make him lose money. He must have a motive for helping her. As expected, her mother called at noon and told her to go home for lunch. Huomin looked at the time. If she drove fast, she should be able to make it back in time for her 2-hour lunch break. So, she drove back to the old house. Her mother had prepared a table full of food, and Hua Zhenghai was there as well. The truth was, Yang Meiyerong didn't like Hua Zhenghai, but because he spoke up for her daughter today, she treated him nicely, which was rare of her. Me on your back. Hua Zhenghai stood up and smiled. Huomin nodded. Here, eat before it gets cold. Yang Meiyerong scooped a bowl of rice for Huomin. Don't suffer alone in the future, tell me. The Hua family is a respectable family. We won't let Lady Qin humiliate us like that, Hua Zhenghai said hypocritically. While her mother was scooping soup, Huomin quietly asked, What do you want now? I want to help you. So what do you want me to say for you? Just say it. I don't like to beat around the bush, Huomin said coldly. Ahem. Hua Zhenghai coughed awkwardly. Huomin was indeed meticulous. He could always see through his motives. Here's the thing. Your sister, Yin, she's not my sister, Huomin corrected him. Okay. Anyway, Yin was rude to you last time. It was wrong of her. I taught her a lesson, so she really knows what she did was wrong. You're a bit older than her, so you should be more tolerant. After all, we're family, Hua Zhenghai said earnestly. Mr. Hua, please get to the point, Huomin said as he ate with his head down. I heard from Xiqian that you and Suyu are friends, so I was wondering if you could introduce Yin to Suyu. Ha! You're really daring, aren't you? Huomin raised his head and sneered. The Suyu family is a century-old aristocratic family. Anyone would want to marry into such a family. Although Yin is absurd, she has a pure personality. If she can gain Suyu's favor, she can help you in the future, right? You want me to introduce that idiot Hua Yin to Suyu? Huomin asked again. Before Hua Zhenghai could say anything, Huomin continued. Aren't you afraid that she'll die a horrible death? Suyu will skin her alive in less than 3 days. It's not that serious, is it? Hua Zhenghai was a bit embarrassed. He felt like Huomin was just trying to scare him. You didn't even do your homework before coming to me. You're really something. First of all, Su Yu and I aren't friends. My words won't work because he won't listen to me. Second of all, Su Yu doesn't like idiots and idiots. Huiyin fits all of those. Third of all, Su Yu doesn't like women who have messy personal lives. You probably didn't investigate carefully who your precious daughter has been hanging out with. However, just because you don't know doesn't mean that Su Yu doesn't know. So, if you ask me to do something like this and piss off Su Yu, aren't you afraid that he'll take his anger out on the whole corporation? Oh, is that so? Hu Xinghai only cared about the interests of the company and didn't really care what his daughter was up to. However, Hu Min knew because her affairs were often exposed in the entertainment news. She often went to nightclubs, wore heavy makeup, and hugged different men. If Su Yu liked someone like that, then not only was Su Yu blind, but the entire Su family was blind. I'm grateful that you helped me, but I'm sorry, I can't help you with this. Hu Min directly refused. What kind of joke was this? If she introduced Hua Yinyin to Su Yu, with Su Yu's explosive temper, not only would he chop Hua Yinyin into pieces, but he would also chop her into pieces, right? Then, how about this, when you have time, bring Qin Shu out and have some tea with me. I'll talk to him about working together. Seeing that his plan didn't work out, Hu Xinghai was unwilling to give up, so he proposed a second condition. Hu Min almost spat out the soup she was drinking. She really felt disgusted by Hu Xinghai. There was probably no man in the world who was more materialistic than him. She really didn't know how her mother fell in love with someone like him. What do you think? That shouldn't be hard, right? Hu Xinghai glanced at Hu Min and asked. Chapter 656. I'll find a time to arrange it. But let me say this first. I'm only responsible for arranging for you guys to meet. As for whether or not my husband agrees to work with you, that's your business. Of course. Hu Xinghai was obviously satisfied. Also, don't get involved in my business without my permission, Hu Min said coldly. Just as Hu Xinghai was about to say something, he saw Yang Meirong walk out with a bowl of soup. Drink it while it's hot. Okay. Hu Min nodded. What were you guys talking about? Yang Meirong asked. We were talking about Mion's childhood. The truth is, I'm not good enough as a father. With Mion's talent, she should have gone to a famous university. Then, she wouldn't be looked down upon by Lady Qin and the Qin family, and she wouldn't be criticized by others. Hu Xinghai was naturally good with words. He pretended to feel guilty because he wanted to move Yang Meirong. Yang Meirong was indeed stupid. She believed Hu Xinghai's little tricks. Hu Min sighed inwardly. He finally understood why his mother lost to Shun Jiani back then. His mother's scheming couldn't even compare to Shun Jiani's, but it was good. If it was his mother who married into the Hua family, she would have been bullied to death by Jiang Hong. The Hua family wasn't a place for humans. Those who could survive were all wolves, tigers, and leopards. So what if our Mion didn't go to a famous university? She was born smart, so she can still do better than others. The first hospital had so many professors and doctors from famous universities. Why did they have to invite my daughter to perform surgery on the director's niece in the middle of the night? Isn't it because they valued my daughter's skills? She's now famous at Southside Recuperation Center. I don't think there's anything wrong with her. Those who twist the truth should go to hell. God will deal with those bitches. Yang Meirong naturally sided with Hu Min. She rambled on, but Hu Xinghai only smiled and didn't say anything. Mom, I'm fine. Don't worry and don't care about what other people say. If reporters come, just lock yourself in and don't come out. They won't dare to come in. If anyone crosses the line, call the police or go visit Annie Wu during the day. Hu Min knew that now that he had made his relationship public, his family would definitely be harassed. I know. I'm fine. Take care of yourself, Yang Meirong said. As he was leaving home, Hu Min suddenly remembered that his mother had mentioned Wu Xiaoxue. He had not contacted Wu Xiaoxue for a few days. He wondered if Wu Xiaoxue had finished her confinement. He planned to visit her after work, after a busy afternoon at Southside. Hu Min called Wu Xiaoxue. Then, he bought a lot of baby products and drove to Wu Xiaoxue's house. On the way there, she happened to see a reporter blocking Ni Yang's way for an interview. GK has been in a lot of trouble lately. Do you regret signing with him? No, GK is doing great, and Young replied casually. What do you think about GK's a young lady coming from a poor family and having a low education? The reporter asked. I think they're a good match. So what if they don't come from a good family? Mao Zedong was a cowherd back then, and Zhu Yuanzhang was a beggar back then. Liu Bang was a street thug. You can't judge a person by their background, but by their ability, okay? I hate people like you who talk about their backgrounds. I support President Qin and a young lady to the end. I'm their fan. And Yang's influence was huge because he had too many fans. Therefore, as soon as the interview was released, a large number of Yang's fans immediately went to Huamin's Weibo to show their support. It was a one-sided pressure from public opinion. Therefore, Lady Qin's words seemed insignificant at a time like this. No matter what she said, people would start calling her an evil mother-in-law. Huamin smiled. This kid was brave enough to take a stand. The other artists under GK all remained neutral, afraid of getting into trouble. And Yang, on the other hand, directly blew himself up. Just then, Yang called. Hello, Sister Huamin. Did you see my interview? His voice was as excited as a child's. Chapter 657. I did. What did I say? You did great. Huamin complimented. Ha! I wonder if I'll help you. Of course, your fans have flooded my Weibo and the haters, Huamin said as he drove with his headphones on. That's good. All right, when I have time in a few days, I'll go to the hospital to see you. I think I've slept a lot better. We can move on to the next plan. MHM, don't worry. I'll always remember what happened to you. After hanging up with Yang, Huamin arrived at Wu Xiaoshua's neighborhood. She parked her car at the entrance of the neighborhood and went upstairs. Huamin pressed the doorbell, and a middle-aged Annie opened the door. Hello, I'm here to see Wu Xiaoxua. Okay, come in. The Annie opened the door and let Huamin in. She's in there, the auntie said as she pointed at the master bedroom. Huamin walked straight in with his bags. Xiaoxua. Huamin, you're here. Wu Xiaoxua was breastfeeding her baby, and she was sitting on the bed with the baby in her arms. You're breastfeeding? Huamin was a little surprised because very few people breastfed nowadays, especially rich people like him. Most of them used powdered milk or hired a nanny. MHM, breastfeeding is the best food for a baby. Wu Xiaoxua smiled. Her smile was filled with the radiance of motherly love. She had gained a lot of weight, and her face was a lot rounder. However, her complexion didn't look too good, probably because she stayed up late. This is a gift for the baby. Huamin handed over the baby's clothes, shoes, and toys that he bought. Thank you. How long until you're out of confinement? Huamin asked as he sat on the chair beside the bed and played with the baby. 5 more days. That's fast. Yes, it's so fast. My baby will be 1 month old in 5 days. Wu Xiaoxua looked at the baby girl in her arms lovingly. Huamin looked at the baby carefully and found that her skin was white and chubby, but her eyebrows were very similar to Ning Ziyuan's. She didn't seem like Wu Xiaoxua at all. Has the baby been named yet? Huamin asked. Yes, I did. My uncle named her Wu Xinyue. Xinyue. Not bad, not bad. It's a nice name. President Wu is really good at naming names. But she's really going to be surnamed Wu. Are you really going to divorce Ning Ziyuan? At the mention of this, Wu Xiaoshua's eyes changed slightly. Yes, he agreed. What about the child? Does he not want it? Even if he wants it, I won't give it to him. Besides, he doesn't plan to take it. Wu Xiaoxua smiled bitterly. It's okay. You're so outstanding. You'll meet better people in the future. That's what I thought too. After feeding her, Wu Xiaoxua handed the baby to Huamian. Hold her. If you hadn't risked your life to do the surgery on me, she would have turned into a pool of blood. You save her life. It's not that serious. I can only say that Xinyue is lucky to be your mother. Huamin had worked in the OB-GYN department before, so she was very good at holding babies. After carefully taking Xinyue in her arms, she coaxed her. What about you? Any news? Wu Xiaoxu asked. Not yet. Maybe it's not time yet. Huamin looked up and smiled. What about you? Are you leaving after your confinement? Yes. We've already signed the divorce agreement. After I'm done with my confinement, I'll go to the Civil Affairs Bureau and get it done. The plane ticket is in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I'll be leaving this place for good. Chicago is where I'll live in the future. Wu Xiaoxue's words were full of reluctance. It's okay. I can go to the States to visit you guys. You guys can come back to visit me. Huamin hugged Xinyue and said, Baby, grow up quickly. You'll be able to protect Mommy. Wu Xiaoxue's eyes suddenly teared up. Huamin, I don't want to leave, but I have no choice. My heart is full of holes. Xiaoxue, don't cry. Be strong. Huamin felt bad when he saw Wu Xiaoxue cry. From the time she was pregnant to the birth of the child, she had never been at peace. Huamin, do you know who was behind my car accident? Wu Xiaoxue suddenly asked with hatred. Huh? Wasn't it an accident? Huamin was slightly surprised. Chapter 658. Of course not. He-Man is the one behind all this. He-Man? If Wu Xiaoxue hadn't mentioned her, Huamin would have almost forgotten about her existence. That evil woman doesn't like me. Maybe she thinks that Ning Ziyuan dumped her because of me, but she's just stupid. I can tell you that even without me, Ning Ziyuan still wouldn't want her. She's a piece of trash. No one would like her. Xiaoxue, you're still in confinement. Calm down and speak slowly. I've already asked someone to investigate. I had my suspicions before, so I deleted the video. You should know the person who hit me and fled. I know him. Huamin was even more surprised. Wu Xiaoxue nodded. Do you remember the pregnant woman who blackmailed you? Yeah, her husband. I don't know how that man hooked up with E-Man, but they were together for a while. During that time, they set me up while I was driving and almost killed my baby. I found that man, but he had already left E-Man. Because E-Man hooked up with Ning Ziyuan again, she dumped him. He didn't want to give up and pestered her. In the end, He-Man hired thugs to break one of his legs. Really? Huamin frowned slightly. If what Wu Xiaoxue said was true, then He-Man was really evil. Yeah, so before I go abroad, I'll definitely take revenge on her. Xiaoxue, don't be silly. You're going abroad. Don't get into trouble. Huamin comforted her. Don't worry, I won't kill her. Her cheap life isn't worth dirtying my hands with. I'll just tell her that evil people get what they deserve. Huamin stayed at Wu Xiaoxue's house for a while. She didn't eat the food that the nanny made. It was Wu Xiaoxue's confinement meal, so it was relatively bland. Before she left, Wu Xiaoxue took out a rectangular box and handed it to her. What is this? I'm about to leave, so I'll give this to you. It's a set of scalpels that I really like. I bought them from Germany, and they're of great quality. I've used them to perform a C-section on a lot of pregnant women who had difficult labor. You're such a great doctor, so I hope you can use them to save more people in the future. Of course, if you're an OB/GYN doctor, and if you don't choose to continue working in the OB/GYN department, I'll give this to you as a memento. After I go to Chicago, I won't be a doctor anymore, Wu Xiaoxue said calmly. You don't want to be a doctor anymore? Huamin looked at the set of scalpels, but did not reach out to take them. I won't. She's still young. I have to work hard to raise her. I want to open a Chinese restaurant. It's more convenient for my tastes. I'm really not used to Western food. After speaking, Wu Xiaoxue took the initiative and stuffed the item into Huamin's hand. Thank you. Huamin felt that this set of scalpels was a little heavy. Huamin, goodbye. Wu Xiaoxue seemed to be saying goodbye in advance. Send me your itinerary when you're leaving. I'll see you off. It's okay. There's a different time zone. My flight is in the morning, so I'll be with my family. Don't worry. Then remember to call me. Huamin was a little sad to see her go. I will. You too. I hope that I can live to see the day when you become a doctor. You'll definitely be a very, very good doctor. Huamin didn't say anything, and he only smiled. After leaving Wu Xiaoxue's home and heading downstairs, Huamin vaguely saw a familiar man walking towards him. Mian, why are you here? Ning Ziyuan came back to get some things and was surprised to see Huamin downstairs. He froze. The two were about 3 meters away from each other, and they looked at each other. Chapter 659. I'm here to see Xiaoxue and the kids. Huamin looked at Ning Ziyuan coldly. If she didn't feel anything for Ning Ziyuan before, now that she saw how pitiful Wu Xiaoxue and the kids were, she began to hate him. She had already started to hate this man. He was no longer the handsome young man she had met in university. All she saw now was a disgusting scumbag. You're here to see Wu Xiaoxue? You're close to her, aren't you? Ning Ziyuan didn't seem to know that Wu Xiaoxue and Huamin had already reconciled. That's between me and her. I don't need to tell you. Then, Huamin walked towards his car. Mom, what's up? Huamin stopped walking and didn't even look back. She didn't want to see him. Not at all. How are you doing now? Haha. Aren't you able to see me on TV and in the newspapers? Huamin chuckled. I think Qin Shu doesn't treat you well. He went public with everything and pushed you to the center of attention. I think he's trying to clear his name by showing off his relationship with you. You've been used, do you know that? Upon hearing these words, Huamin turned around and looked at Ning Ziyuan with a complicated expression. Really? I've really been used? Yeah, you're so smart, didn't you notice? Ning Ziyuan said earnestly. Thank you for reminding me. Now I know that I've been used, but so what? He's my husband. I'm willing to be used. Huamin said on purpose. Are you willing to do anything just because of money? Even if you're bullied by that evil mother-in-law, you're willing to endure it? After all these years, you still don't know me at all. Let me tell you, I've drunk the strongest alcohol and given up on the person I love the most. I can be as stubborn as a madman, but I can also work like a man. I can also be a good wife and mother at home, a good wife and a good mother. Everything depends on who you are. So don't ever try to look at me from your point of view, because I'm afraid you'll never understand. With that, Huamin walked away without looking back. She had nothing to say to Ning Ziyuan. He wasn't even a familiar stranger. Based on what he had done to Wu Xiaoxue and her daughter, he was not worthy of forgiveness. It didn't matter if he was fired by President Wu or chased out of the Wu family's mansion. Everything was his own doing. Ning Ziyuan looked at Huamin's back and stood there for a long time and a daze. He suddenly realized that the best time of his life was when he was chasing Huamin in university. But those days were gone forever. Sometimes he even thought that if he had trusted Huamin and stood by her side, he would not have done those things that hurt her. In that case, would she not leave him? Not going back to Qin Shu's side? But there were no ifs in life. There were only consequences and results. Everything that happened today was his own fault. Once upon a time, Huamin was willing to trust him and let him be by her side. But he didn't cherish her, so who could he blame now? By the time Huamin got home, Qin Shu had already made dinner. Sometimes, when he thought about it, although Mr. Qin didn't talk much, he was still a caring man. He was so busy, but when he got home, he immediately took off his role as the boss and played the role of a husband. He made delicious food for Huamin. Wow, it smells so good. Honey, did you make seafood? Huamin asked as soon as he got home. You have a good nose. Qin Shu smiled. He brought out dinner. It was steamed crab, mantis shrimp, spicy stir-fried sea cucumber, and tinfoil roasted clams. These were all Huamin's favorite seafood. Ever since he found out that Qin Shu couldn't eat seafood, Huamin had been very restrained. He almost forgot how long it had been since he last ate seafood. But Mr. Qin remembered it clearly. One who is unaccountably solicitous must be hiding evil intentions. Honey, you're so nice to me. Do you have a favor to ask of me? Of course I do, Qin Shu said matter-of-factly. Then what do you want from me, Mr. Qin? Huamin walked over and hugged Qin Shu's waist from behind. Then he began to act coquettishly. I want you to be on top tonight. I've been really tired lately, so please take the initiative. Puffed. Huamin almost choked. Mr. Qin was talking dirty again. Was there anyone who could control him? Chapter 660. What? Can't you satisfy your husband's one request? Qin Shu looked like he was wronged. Mr. Qin, you're bullying me, Huamin yelled. She was inexperienced to begin with, but Qin Shu wanted her to take the initiative, a man on top and a woman on the bottom. Oh my, so dirty. I'll stop teasing you, let's eat. Qin Shu lovingly let go of Huamin's hand. Then he ate seafood with her. Qin Shu's stomach was sensitive, so she only had a little bit of lobster congee. Oh right, honey, I want to talk to you about something. Okay, didn't Hua Zhenghai speak up for me today? He asked me to do something. What is it? Qin Shu looked up at Huamin. He wants to have tea with you and talk about the cooperation between the whole corporation and GK. Huamin skipped over Suyu. After all, she didn't want to mention Suyu in front of Qin Chu because she didn't want to make her husband feel bad, even though there was nothing going on between her and Suyu. He sure knows how to scheme. Yeah, he went to the old house today and bewitched my mom, playing the role of a good father. But I promised him that you guys would meet. It's up to you to decide if it works out or not. I'm only responsible for you guys meeting. You won't be mad at me, right? Why would I be? Qin Chu smiled. Really? Do you plan on meeting him? I'll go. My wife agreed on my behalf, so I have to give you face. Qin Chu spoiled Huamin 100 times. He never blamed her for acting on her own. Honey, you're the best. I'm the best. So are you going to do something for me later? Here we go again. Huamin was truly speechless. Ever since Mr. Qin came back, he seemed to be asking for her a lot. Honey, I read in a magazine that couples should only do it 2 or 3 times a week. It's not good for the body if it's too much, Huamian said with a straight face. But I read in a magazine that newlyweds who have been married for less than a year can do it once a day or even multiple times a day. Oh, really? Huamin was confused again. Mr. Qin sure knows how to pick up girls. Yes. That's why we haven't been together for more than a year. We're still newlyweds, so it's normal for us to ask for more. Why? Honey, don't tell me you dislike me. Mr. Qin's innocent expression melted Huamin's heart. I didn't. Hubby, why would I dislike you? Then you'll be on top, and I'll be on the bottom tonight. Mr. Qin dug a hole. Then, our little fox with an IQ of 130 also foolishly jumped down sure enough, in front of the person he loved the most. All his IQ was useless. Unable to resist Mr. Qin's seduction, Huamin finally covered his face and took the lead. The result was surprisingly good, because she realized that this position was actually quite comfortable. It seemed like she still didn't know enough. Qin Chu looked at his wife, who was sighing in amazement, and chuckled. It seemed like he would have to take this position more often in the future. If he wanted to try every one of the 108 positions recommended in the textbook, it would definitely feel amazing. After Mr. Qin's torment, Huamin was exhausted and wanted to go to bed. Just as he was about to sleep, he received a call from Jiang Xiaowei. Huamin, come and keep me company. I'm at Seductive Fox's top-floor private room C. After speaking, Jiang Xiaowei hung up. Huamin immediately woke up. Ever since he became friends with Jiang Xiaowei, his heart had been pounding. She was always like this, appearing and disappearing like a ghost. Honey, are you going out? Qin Chu asked curiously when he saw Huamin sleepily get up and get dressed. Chapter 661. MHM, I'm going to see a friend, Huamin said as she put on her clothes. Qin Chu looked down at his watch. It's too late, it's not safe. I'll drive you. MHM, okay. Huamin knew that Qin Chu was worried about her, so she didn't reject him. The two went downstairs together. Qin Chu drove the Maybach to Seductive Fox. I'll wait for you guys in the car. Don't get drunk, Qin Chu reminded her worriedly. I know, Mr. Qin. I'll be a good girl. Wait for me here. Huamin was grateful that Qin Chu was so considerate. After all, Jiang Xiaowei was a female friend of his. She wasn't close with Qin Chu, unlike Zhu Lingling, who had known them since high school. So, Qin Chu's best option was to wait in the car for them to have fun before taking his wife home. Although Seductive Fox was a place with all sorts of people, Qin Chu wasn't worried because it was Rick's place, so he didn't follow them. Huamin was in a hurry, so she didn't bother to dress up. She wore a long black hoodie and a pair of black leggings. But in reality, it was late autumn, so this kind of outfit wasn't enough to keep out the cold after she got out of the car. A gust of cold wind hit her in the face. Huamin shivered from a cold. Then, she jogged into Seductive Fox and headed straight for the private room on the top floor. Which room is it? Room A, B, C, or D? Huamin was in a daze when she answered Jiang Xiaowei's call, so she didn't pay much attention to it and forgot about it. She looked around the luxurious rooms in a daze. She picked up her phone and was about to call Jiang Xiaowei when the door to room B suddenly opened. Tang Chuan, a big-breasted girl, walked out unsteadily. When she saw Huamin, She immediately perked up. Head nurse. Oh, why are you here? Are my eyes playing tricks on me? I'm here to look for a friend, Huamin replied calmly. Haha, could it be our Lord Su? He's inside. Hurry up. Tang Xuan was the kind of person who liked to kick up a fuss. Therefore, when he saw Huamin at the door of the private room, he couldn't wait to push her in front of Su Yu. No, I'm here to see a girlfriend of mine, Huamin explained. At this time, Jiang Xiaowei called, Have you arrived yet? Oh, we're here. What's your room number? Huamin quickly asked. See, okay, 3 seconds. After speaking, Huamin turned around, walked a few steps, and opened the door to room C. She even forgot to talk to Tang Chuan. Young Master Tang, why don't we go to the washroom? It's dark there, the hot girl boldly invited. Wait, sweetheart, let me give Lord Su a message first. After speaking, Tang Chuan left his date behind and went back into room B. When Huamin walked in, he was immediately dumbfounded. Jiang Xiaowei was the only one in the spacious private room. She was wearing a black miniskirt and a red shawl with tassels. She looked beautiful and sexy, but what was with the countless beer bottles in front of the table? Huamin estimated that there were about 17 or 18 empty bottles. You're here? Sit. Jiang Xiaowei smiled, revealing 2 of her signature canine teeth. Come to think of it, even a cold goddess like her would only be in a good mood when she saw Huamin. Did you drink all of this? Huamin asked suspiciously. Is there a second person in the room? Jiang Xiaowei laughed. You are amazing. I worship you. Huamin always thought that she was one of the girls with a decent alcohol tolerance, but Jiang Xiaowei instantly crushed her. This was too scary. What's wrong? Did your blind date fail again? Huamin noticed that she was a little depressed, so he asked. Chapter 662. My blind date failed, so I should celebrate like every other time. So you succeeded this time? Huamin looked at her in surprise. It's not really a success, but my parents really like that guy. I just don't feel good about it, Jiang Xiaowei said as she poured 2 glasses of wine. She handed one to Huamian and downed the other in one gulp. Ahem, I'll secretly drink with you one day. My husband is downstairs, and if he finds out that I'm drinking, he'll kill me. Huamin really didn't dare to secretly drink anymore, because the last time he drank, he was sent to the police station and interrogated by Qin Shu until he wished he was dead. Mr. Qin was scary when he was angry. Although he spoiled her, he would never tolerate her bad habits. Okay, then I'll drink by myself. Jiang Xiaowei poured herself another glass and downed it in one gulp. She didn't even blink and drank as if she was drinking cold water. It was Huamin's first time seeing such a strong woman. You don't like him? Huamin asked tentatively. How should I put it? He's a perfect candidate for marriage. He's 30 years old, works in the environmental protection industry, is a young CEO, returned from overseas, and is a genius in finance. He's handsome and has a good conversation style. His family background is clean, and he doesn't have a romantic history. Wow, you don't like him? Huamin couldn't help but sigh after hearing Jiang Xiaowei say so much. Good men were almost extinct nowadays, and Huamin thought she was extremely lucky to meet such a perfect guy on a blind date. Yeah, he looks great at first glance, and I think he's a perfect candidate for marriage, but I feel like something's missing. What do you feel? Something like that. He's a typical Scorpio, and he's terrifyingly rational. He knows what he wants, and I know that he doesn't love me. He just wants me to be his wife because I'm suitable for marriage. To outsiders, we're a perfect couple, but it's just a label we use to make each other work. You can't think of it that way. What if they fall in love after marriage? It's not like there's no one around who's been in love before. Jiang Xiaowei smiled bitterly. But I don't want to take the risk. What if I still don't like him after we get married? Am I supposed to get a divorce? What's the situation now? Huamin asked. The 2 families intend to get engaged in a week's time. So fast. Huamin was also surprised. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I felt that I was quite conflicted. On one hand, I felt that I had reached the age where I should just find a suitable man and get married. After all, I wasn't a little girl anymore. What kind of love could I desire? But on the other hand, I really can't accept it. I always hope that one day when I get married, it's because of love, not because of suitability. After all, the kind of man you choose will decide the quality of your life in the future. You're right. What are you going to do? Huamin looked at Jiang Xiaowei sympathetically. She was such an outstanding woman, yet she was in so much pain because she couldn't make a decision about her marriage at this moment. She was really glad that she married Qin Shu. If she had agreed to marry Wei Dong in order to save her brother, or if she had continued to pretend to be mediocre and married Ning Zuan, perhaps she wouldn't be as happy as she was now. After all, marrying a man she didn't love was a sad thing. I don't know what to do either. Help me come up with an idea. Jiang Xiaowei poured another glass of wine. This time, before she could drink it, Huamin took it away from her. It's useless to drink too much. Once you sober up, you'll still have to face it. Then what am I going to do? Huamin, am I really going to marry that man? I can't accept it. Jiang Xiaowei looked at Huamin with tears in her eyes. Before Huamin could say anything, the door to the private room was suddenly pushed open. Why didn't you say anything to me when you came? Is there a girl more heartless than you in the world? Suyu walked in with a dark expression. Chapter 663. Why are you here? Huamin was quite surprised that Suyu suddenly ran over. That bitch Tang Chuan ran over to Lord Su to ask for credit. When Suyu heard that Huamin was here, he immediately felt better. He couldn't even sit still and immediately wanted to come over. In the end, it was Wei Liao who told him to be more reserved. He forced him to drink 3 glasses of wine before letting him go. Hey, isn't this pretty girl from that day at the hospital? Wei Liao's memory was quite good. Although that day, Jiang Xiaowei's side profile was a killer, but Wei Liao still recognized her. That stud Tang Chuan was hiding in a corner and having with a hot girl. Otherwise, if he was there, he could help identify her. Do you guys know each other? Huamin looked at Wei Liao strangely. Wei Liao immediately shook his head. No, I don't. You know Suyu? Jiang Xiaowei obviously wasn't drunk, so she looked at Huamin and asked, I used to take care of him when he was hospitalized at Southside. Huamin briefly explained. Suyu felt like the chances of him bringing Huamin to his private room weren't high. So he simply sat down on the sofa next to Huamin. What are you doing? Huamin looked at him in confusion. You definitely can't go over to my room, so I think I should sit down and keep you company. This isn't my private room, it's my friend's. Huamin wanted to cry, but no tears came out. Suyu had been quiet for a long time, but now he was going to start messing around again. Waiter, put all the expenses in this private room on my tab. Okay, young Master Su. The waiter immediately ran over and added a lot of snacks and drinks. Rich people are so willful. Jiang Xiaowei glanced at Suyu and said, he's no longer a simple nouveau riche. With how much money he spends, we've already called him a god-level nouveau riche. Wei Liao smiled. Then, Suyu and Wei Liao shamelessly refused to leave the room without the owner's permission. Inside the CEO's office on the top floor of seductive Foxrick looked at the surveillance camera and pondered for a while. Then he called Qin Chu. Although he was not a tattletale, he knew that Qin Chu cared a lot about Huamin. Hello. Qin Chu answered the phone. Your wife came to my place again. Please note that Rick used the word again. I know. I came with her. Where are you? Rick was confused. I'm in the car downstairs. She went up to keep a friend company. It's not convenient for me. Qin Chu explained. Then let me tell you something. Calm down after you hear it. What is it? Your wife's friend is in room C, and Suyu and the others are in room B. So? Qin Chu continued to ask. So, 3 minutes ago, Suyu and the others went to room C. Are you sure you don't want to come up and take a look? Qin Chu was silent for 5 seconds. I'm not going up. I trust her. Qin Chu said calmly. He knew what kind of person Huamin was. He didn't want to restrict her too much. They needed to respect each other and have their own privacy. Even though they were husband and wife, they couldn't pressure each other to the point that they couldn't breathe. If Qin Chu checked Huamin's Weibo and WeChat every day, after a while, even if there weren't any conflicts, there would be conflicts, so even though he heard from Rick that Suyu went to look for Huamin in room C, He wasn't worried at all. You're such a boss. Rick was speechless. If it's mine, no one could take it away. If it's not mine, I won't be able to keep it even if I force it, Qin Chu said slowly. Fine, I don't understand what you Chinese people are thinking. Anyways, I told you. You're on your own now. Rick hung up the phone. Qin Chu continued to analyze the data on his laptop as usual. He wasn't worried about what was going on upstairs at all. This was not at all like the steadiness and maturity of a 27-year-old young man. Of course, the reason he wasn't worried wasn't because he didn't love Huamin. It was because he loved her so much that he didn't want to hurt her pride. What are you doing here in the middle of the night instead of sleeping at home? Why are you wearing pajamas? Suyu looked at Huamin with disdain. He looked at her from head to toe and came to the conclusion that Huamin came out in pajamas. Chapter 664. Huamin immediately rolled his eyes at him. Is this what your pajamas look like? Is this a sweater? Do you understand? No. If you don't understand, then go away. I don't want to waste my time talking to you. Insulting Su Yu was one of Hua Min's signature moves. Back at Southside, this was how he dealt with Huamian. Wei Liao, on the other hand, sat in front of Jiang Shaowei and began flirting with her. Pretty girl, did you drink all of this by yourself? Yeah. Jiang Shaowei's mood suddenly improved. Perhaps it was because there were more people in the room, so she felt less lonely. You're a good drinker, Wei Liao complimented. I'm okay. How that day at Southside, I saw you, right? Were you driving a white Lexus? Wei Liao asked. Yeah. Jiang Shaowei nodded. Wei Liao was ecstatic to think that he would meet such a beautiful woman with a side profile again. It must be fate. Are you Huamin's friend? Wei Liao continued to ask. What does that have to do with you? Don't you think you're asking too much? Either sit down and drink, or get out of here. I don't have time to talk nonsense with you guys. Jiang Shaowei unleashed her tomboy skills. She was even more pretentious than Huamin. Wei Liao was speechless. Huamin was so happy that he couldn't stop laughing. Jiang Shaowei was such a rare girl. She was so real, she could swear at any time. It didn't match her status as a famous psychologist who returned from overseas. Su Yu's gaze softened as he watched Huamin laugh. He didn't have many opportunities to interact with Huamin, so he rarely saw her laugh so brightly. He suddenly felt that this was the best laughter he had ever heard in the world. Huamin only cared about laughing at Jiang Shaowei and Wei Liao. She didn't care that Su Yu was looking at her affectionately. It's not that I can't drink, but I'm afraid that I'll drink too much. After all, this is the first time we've met. It's not good. Being publicly challenged by Jiang Shaowei, Wei Liao said modestly, don't worry. If you make me drunk today, I'll go with you. You can do whatever you want. Huamin spat out a mouthful of blood. Su Yu was also speechless. Although Wei Liao was also a playboy, he was all talk and no action. The Wei Liao family had been in the steel construction industry for many years and was also a large family. Wei Liao had an older brother and an older sister. Thus, due to the reputation of the clan, they would not act recklessly. Now that Jiang Shaowei took the initiative, he was helpless. He rubbed his nose and said, I don't think that's a good idea. I didn't mean that. Are you going to drink or not? You're so annoying. Jiang Shaowei lost her patience. Let's drink. Since you're a woman, how about you drink 1 glass and I drink 2 glasses? What do you think? Sure. Jiang Shaowei nodded without hesitation. Wei Liao looked at the beer and wine on the table and said, Take these away and change them to white wine. Waiter, give me a few bottles of Mao Dai. Okay, young Master Wei. You guys aren't serious, are you? Huamin was a little worried. Wei Liao's alcohol tolerance is terrifying. Your friend is definitely going to lose today, Su Yu said proudly with his arms crossed. I don't think so. Shaowei's a weirdo too. Huamin didn't seem to think that Jiang Shaowei would definitely lose. After Wei Liao poured 2 glasses of white wine, he covered the rim of the glass with one hand and said, Babe, let's make this clear first. If you're really drunk and have to leave with me, you can have fun, but don't make me take responsibility. Okay, Jiang Shaowei said without hesitation. What if you lose? Jiang Shaowei looked at Wei Liao teasingly. If I lose, you can do whatever you want with me. Of course, I can leave with you and spend the night with you. You don't have to pay anything. Wei Liao said with a smile. In your dreams. Jiang Xiaowei glared at him. Wei Liao wasn't very handsome, but he was the type that was pleasing to the eye. His eyes weren't big, and he liked to smile. He was sharp-tongued and quick-witted. He hung out with Su Yu all the time. He was a natural optimist. If you lose, you'll have to walk around seductive fox in your underwear. Jiang Xiaowei said slowly, Huh, that's a deal. Su Yu laughed maniacally. Lord Su, you're on my side, okay? You can't choose the wrong side because of Huo Min's beauty trap. Wei Liao was speechless. Chapter 665. Let's not waste time, okay? Can you do it or not? Jiang Xiaowei glared at Wei Liao. No problem, I don't care. It's not like I'm going to lose. Wei Liao felt like he had been on the battlefield for a long time. He had been drinking Su Yu since he was 12 or 13 years old, so he was immune to all kinds of drugs. 2 pounds of baijiu was nothing to him. 2 pounds of baijiu meant 6 or 7 glasses. Jiang Xiaowei, on the other hand, probably wouldn't be able to hold on much longer because she had drunk so much. Although he really didn't have any improper thoughts about Jiang Xiaowei, he still wanted to break her spirit. Since Jiang Xiaowei was a girl, and she had drunk so much before, Wei Liao announced that he would drink 2 glasses for every glass she drank. Jiang Xiaowei was very straightforward. She picked up a glass of baijiu and downed it first. Then, she shook the empty glass as if she was provoking him. Wei Liao was also very straightforward. He didn't say anything and downed 2 glasses in a row. Su Yu took out a cigarette, put it in his mouth, and applauded Wei Liao. Then he picked up the lighter on the table and lit it up. Perhaps it was because he was too close to Huo Min, so the fragrance of the cigarette drifted over. Huo Min suddenly felt uncomfortable in his throat and began to cough. After coughing for the 3rd time, Su Yu quietly pulled the cigarette out of his mouth, threw it on the ground, and stepped on it twice. Wei Liao looked at Su Yu's careful expression and half-smiled. Then Jiang Xiaowei picked up another glass of baijiu and downed another glass. Wei Liao then downed another 2 glasses. The battle became more and more intense. Huo Min was a little worried about Jiang Xiaowei's body. He grabbed her wrist and whispered, Even if you lose, you can't drink anymore. They're my friends. They won't really give you a hard time. I'm fine, don't worry. Jiang Xiaowei gave Huo Min a confident look. Then, she picked up the 3rd glass of baijiu and downed it again. Wei Liao was a little uncomfortable. Most people wouldn't be able to handle drinking 1 glass at a time. What's more, he drank twice as much as Jiang Xiaowei did. So, he hesitated for a moment and downed another 2 glasses. Until now, Jiang Xiaowei had downed 3 glasses in a row, while Wei Liao had 6 glasses. 6 glasses wasn't a lot, but it was still very powerful if he drank them consecutively. The alcohol rushed to Wei Liao's brain, and he suddenly felt a little dizzy. He thought that 3 glasses as SSS was enough to knock his it. Who knew? 2. S2 drink go? Wei Liao swallowed, and a strong smell of alcohol wafted from his throat. However, he forced himself to drink 2 more glasses in a row. To be honest, by the time he drank the 2nd glass, he was already about to throw up. But men were prideful, so he held it in. Su Yu could see that Wei Liao had reached his limit, but looking at Jiang Xiaowei, it was obvious that she couldn't do it either. His face was flushed red and reeked of alcohol. Even so, Jiang Xiaowei was still unconvinced. She slowly picked up the 5th cup and slowly drank it under everyone's gaze. Huo Min couldn't even bear to watch. After Wei Liao saw her drink the 5th cup, he immediately stood up. Beauty, I'm convinced. Tell me, should I run downstairs or upstairs first? It was obvious that Wei Liao had admitted defeat, because if he drank more, not only would he vomit, but he might also be hospitalized for alcohol poisoning. He would rather run naked than risk his life. Jiang Xiaowei smiled proudly. Whatever, as long as you're wearing underwear. Chapter 666. Wei Liao turned around and walked out. He couldn't take off his clothes in front of the 2 women, right? Although this request was ridiculous, he was a man and had to do what he said. Su Yu was still worried, so he followed him out, Jiang Xiaowei covered her mouth, rushed to the bathroom, and vomited like crazy. Are you okay? You're amazing. I've never seen anyone drink as much as you do. You're the god of alcohol, Huamin exclaimed as he patted Jiang Xiaowei's back. Actually, I cheated. Ha! I drank sobering medicine before I drank. Jiang Xiaowei smiled mysteriously. No wonder. Huamin finally understood. It seemed like Wei Liao was smart, but he still couldn't avoid being played. Ha! After Jiang Xiaowei finished vomiting, she felt much better. Huamin supported her, and the two of them walked out. Wei Liao was a man of his word. He ran downstairs in a pair of white boxers. The waiters and customers all looked at him strangely. Luckily, Suyu was with him. No one dared to say anything because they didn't want to offend the crown prince. Suyu was speechless. He took out his phone and said, "Haha, when you get married, play this VCR on the day of your wedding. It'll be amazing." Fuck off. Wei Liao cursed. Tang Chuan came back from the corner with a hot girl and was speechless when he saw this scene. I was only out for half an hour. What happened here? Tang Chuan was dumbfounded. Your young master Wei made a bet with a beauty to drink. If he lost, he would run around in his underwear. In the end, he bragged too much and lost, so this is what happened. So you summarized everything in a few words. Ha ha, this is too funny. We're the beauties. I have to thank him for standing up for us. Tang Chuan looked up and laughed. Ever since they were young, none of them could outdrink Wei Liao when it came to drinking. Even Su Yu was no match for him. Today, he actually fell into the hands of a woman. It was really God's will. What about over there? Su Yu asked in the direction of Huamin and Jiang Xiaowei. Tang Chuan looked at it and was a little puzzled. Why does he look so familiar? Oh, I remember now. That killer profile. Haha, so she's Huamin's friend. No wonder she's at Southside. Tang Chuan was even more excited. What do you mean by side profile? Su Yu was confused. After that, Tang Chuan rambled on about what happened that day. Su Yu smiled. You two are really talented. Who told you to show off? Now you've met your match. Can you two be quiet? Will you die if you don't talk? Wei Liao scolded with a dark expression as he jogged. Huamin supported Jiang Xiaowei and watched from the side. Jiang Xiaowei was originally very depressed, but she was suddenly in a good mood after being teased by Wei Liao. She suddenly sighed and said, Huamin, did you know? Ever since I came back to China, all my aunts and uncles came to my house to persuade me. They said that it's hard to find a woman when you're old. They said that it's fine if you're not too picky and that you should just get married. When they blabber on and on, I usually say that if I get married, it's either money or the man. I don't dare to ask for both. After all, you can't have your cake and eat it too. But if the man isn't good enough and doesn't have money, then I'm sorry. Am I marrying him to have children and play house with him? I'm not a living lay phone. Whoever lacks a dick can go ahead and get married. I wish them a happy life. Haha, that's a great answer. Huamin couldn't help but laugh. Yeah, at the time, I thought that I would be able to persevere, but in the end, I couldn't avoid it. Maybe in a week, I'll really get engaged, Jiang Xiaowei said dejectedly. Xiaowei, have you never been deeply in love with anyone before? Huamin asked curiously. In kindergarten, the class president and I used to eat lollipops together. You took a bite, and I took a bite. Does that count as love? After Jiang Xiaowei finished speaking, she and Huamin looked at each other and smiled, as if they understood each other. I envy you. You have Qin Shu, your childhood sweetheart. You can still be willful by his side when you're older, but not everyone is as lucky as you. In this world, there are still so many people who don't get what they want. I believe that those who persevere will eventually find happiness, as long as you don't give up, Huamin said seriously. Just then, Wei Liao ran over with sweat all over his forehead. He looked at Jiang Xiaowei and said, Beauty, I've done what I promised you. Give me your WeChat. Chapter 667. You want my WeChat? Sure, no problem. Jiang Xiaowei smiled, revealing her signature canine teeth. Wei Liao finally felt a little comforted. Tonight, he didn't do anything for nothing, but you have to drink 2 more glasses of wine, Jiang Xiaowei said. Wei Liao immediately rushed to the bathroom behind him and threw up Whenever he heard the word wine, he would have a mental breakdown. Everyone around him laughed hysterically. Jiang Xiaowei then pulled Huamin. Let's go home and sleep. Huamin silently followed behind her. Wait. So you chased after them? What? Huamin turned around. You're leaving just like that? You're not even going to say goodbye to me? Suyu asked pretentiously. Goodbye. After speaking, Huamin continued to follow behind Jiang Xiaowei. Suyu watched them leave with a sorrowful look in his eyes, as sorrowful as he could be. You're actually quite a coward sometimes. Isn't it just hitting on girls? You should be more straightforward. Look at me. When I was having with that girl, I directly told her that I wanted to fuck her. Let's go to the bathroom. Then, she obediently followed me. Tang Chuan tried to persuade Suyu. Then, he saw Suyu's murderous gaze. Do you think I'm like you, a teddy bear who wants to fuck everything he sees? After speaking, Suyu looked at Tang Chuan with disdain and walked away. This sentence made Tang Chuan completely speechless. However, what he thought about it, Lord Su's words actually made sense. His teddy bears were usually very clingy. Indeed, they wanted to fuck everything they saw. Damn, that was so dirty. Now that Lord Su had exposed such a dirty joke, how could they happily raise teddy bears in the future? Wei Liao returned to the private room to find his clothes and put them on. Then, he calmly walked out a seductive fox with Su Yu and the others. Fortunately, he didn't care about how others looked at him. If anyone spreads word about what happened today, they will be killed without mercy. Su Yu was righteous enough to issue a kill order. Neither the waiters nor the guests dared to say a word. They all knew that this was just a prank from the upper class. If you took it seriously, you would lose. When Huamin helped Jiang Xiaowei down, she suddenly stopped. Xiaowei, my old car is over there. Let's send you home first. It's safer this way. No, I could drive myself. No, drunk driving is very dangerous. Huamin's expression changed immediately. He firmly disagreed with Jiang Xiaowei's decision to drive. Then I'll call my chauffeur to pick me up. Jiang Xiaowei smiled helplessly. Sure, I'll wait here for your chauffeur. I'll leave after he gets here. Then I'll take a taxi. Jiang Xiaowei couldn't bear to see Huamin wait for her. Therefore, she decided to take a taxi. Huamin saw how determined she was, so he didn't insist. After the two said goodbye, Huamin got into the passenger seat of the Maybach. Honey, follow the taxi in front. I have to make sure she gets home safely. Huamin pointed to the front. Qin Shu nodded, put down his laptop, and started the car. Jiang Xiaowei was the type of girl who had a sweet appearance, so people often hit on her. After she got into the car, she sat in the back. The chauffeur was a middle-aged man who was slightly chubby and had small eyes. He stole a few glances in the rearview mirror and immediately became restless when he saw that it was a pretty girl. Pretty girl, how old are you? 38, Jiang Xiaowei calmly replied. That's impossible. You look like you're 17 or 18, haha. The chauffeur flattered her. Yeah, I was 18 when I died. Now that 20 years have passed, I'm 38 this year. Then, I'll go to every intersection and get some money to spend. The chauffeur's face immediately turned pale when he heard this. He thought that he had seen a ghost. Jiang Xiaowei laughed out loud, and her laughter became more and more creepy. The chauffeur was sweating profusely. He stepped on the gas and stopped the car. Then, he opened the door and ran away, scared out of his wits. Jiang Xiaowei sneered. How dare he hit on a girl with that little guts of his? Why didn't he scare an idiot like you to death? Then, Jiang Xiaowei got out of the car. What's going on? Honey, stop the car. Huamin saw the taxi stop and Jiang Xiaowei get out of the car. He thought that something happened to her. He immediately got out of the car to check on her. I bumped into an idiot chauffeur. I scared him away, so I can only take your car. Come on in. Huamin pulled Jiang Xiaowei into his Maybach. As soon as they got in, Huamin immediately introduced them. I'm Qin Shu. Honey, this is my friend Jiang Xiaowei. Chapter 668. Nice to meet you, President Qin. Nice to meet you. Qin Chu nodded faintly. They didn't speak much on the way home until they drove Jiang Xiaowei back to the Jiang mansion. You guys go home. I'll talk to you later. Jiang Xiaowei pinched Huamin's face before she turned around and headed home. When did you become friends with her? Chu slowly asked on the way home. Not too long ago. I met her because I wanted to treat Ai Yang's illness. She's a famous psychologist. I know. You know her. Huamin was a little surprised. I don't know her, but I know her. You know that she's getting engaged soon, right? Chu suddenly changed the topic. You even know that? Huamin was in disbelief. Was her husband a genius? Because the person she's getting engaged to is Gao Rant's cousin. Huamin was a little confused. Gao Rant's aunt's son works in the environmental protection industry. He's a smart guy. Gao Ran just complained to me yesterday that his cousin is getting engaged, and the other party is a fair, rich, and beautiful woman. What a coincidence. I see. Huamin suddenly understood. Jiang Xiaowei keeps a low profile in the socialite circle. She doesn't have any scandals, but she's a weirdo. I have to say that she admires you for being friends with her. Qin Chu analyzed. Huamin smiled embarrassedly. She said that I'm a little like her. We both have weird tempers, and I don't like to play by the rules. Ai Yang's illness isn't easy to treat, but I used a different method. She tried to hypnotize Ai Yang before, but she failed. I think that's the reason. Yeah. Qin Chu nodded and didn't say anything else. When they got home, Huamin couldn't help but sneeze 3 times in a row. Qin Chu's heart ached as he covered her with a thin blanket in the living room. I was in such a hurry that I forgot to wear a jacket. You might have caught a cold. Yeah, it's too cold. Huamin covered herself with the blanket and sat down on the sofa. Qin Chu silently turned around and went into the kitchen. A few minutes later, a bowl of brown sugar and ginger water. Drink it while it's hot. Thank you, honey. Huamian smiled happily as she took the sugar water and sipped it slowly. Qin Chu was an arrogant, cold, and indifferent person. Only when he was with Huamian would he show his gentleness. He could wait in the car for an hour, but when she heard that Suyu was going to see her, she still believed him calmly. However, he did not say a word when she asked to follow Jiang Xiaowei's taxi. He could go into the kitchen to make her sugar water when she got home and caught a cold. He always gave her everything, just so that the person he loved wouldn't suffer. Morning, the two of them went to work. Huamin sent Jiang Xiaowei a WeChat message early in the morning. However, she didn't reply. It wasn't until noon that Jiang Xiaowei replied with a voice message. I think I drank too much last night and lost my memory. What do you remember? I only remember that you went to look for me. I don't remember how you got home. Jiang Xiaowei covered her head. The pain was unbearable. Then you don't remember the bet you made with Wei Liao? Who's Wei Liao? Jiang Xiaowei was confused. Huamin was speechless. If Wei Liao knew about this, he would probably be depressed to death. He would vomit and run naked. However, Jiang Xiaowei didn't even remember his existence. Forget it. I'll chat with you when I'm free. I'm busy. Okay. After Huamin finished his work, he was about to go to the cafeteria to eat when he saw Wei Liao at the door of his office. Suyu wasn't there. It seemed like he came alone. Huamin, I brought you lunch. Wei Liao smiled as he handed over the lunchbox. Do we even know each other? Huamian felt like Wei Liao and her had nothing to do with each other. Okay? It was still acceptable to talk to Suyu, but Wei Liao brought him lunch. What was going on? Li Ji's crab roe dumplings are delicious. Eat them while they're hot. Can you tell me why you're looking for me first? Let me see if I can eat them. Huami knew all too well how people try to curry favor for no reason. Even Mr. Qin was no exception. Chapter 669. Ahem. Wei Liao coughed and lowered his voice. Do you have Jiang Xiaowei's WeChat? You want to hit on her? Huami's straightforward question made Wei Liao feel awkward. Can you not be so direct? Wei Liao chuckled. I have her WeChat, but what? Wei Liao asked timidly when he saw that Huamin wanted to say something but didn't. But she might be getting engaged in a week. Engaged? This news was like a blow to Wei Liao's head. After being in the industry for so many years, he finally met a woman that he was interested in. He thought that he would no longer be single. But when Huamin said that she was getting engaged, Wei Liao almost went crazy. His heart fell to the bottom of the valley with a loud thud. So, I don't think it's useful for you to ask for her WeChat, Huamin added. Then I'll add her too. Maybe we can be friends in the future. Okay, see if she adds you or not. Huamin thought that since Jiang Xiaowei didn't want to get engaged, he might as well give Wei Liao a chance. What if the two of them liked each other? In this world, anything could happen. Wei Liao scanned the QR code and added Jiang Xiaowei. But after waiting for a while, she still didn't accept. She didn't add me. She probably didn't see my WeChat. Wei Liao muttered to himself. Huamin really wanted to tell him that she just sent Jiang Xiaowei a WeChat message, but he didn't want to upset him again. Thanks, Huamin. Hurry up and eat, I'm leaving. After receiving Jiang Xiaowei's WeChat message, Wei Liao drove away in his sports car. Huamin sat in his office and ate the meal that Wei Liao had sent over. He thought about what had happened last night and found it quite funny. Come to think of it, Jiang Xiaowei was also a tough girl. She insisted on drinking with Wei Liao until she was left with only a pair of underpants. After a hearty meal, Huamin missed Qin Shu, so he sent him a WeChat message. Mr. Qin, have you eaten? She didn't receive a reply for a long time. Looking at the time, he should be on his lunch break. Huamin couldn't help but call her. No one picked up for a long time. Just as she was about to hang up, a woman's voice sounded from the other end. Hello. Isn't that Qin Shu's phone? Huamin was dumbfounded. Why would a woman pick up? She never picked up Qin Shu's phone calls because she didn't want to get involved in business matters. He's eating. I have his phone. The woman's voice was crisp. Huamin felt like the name sounded familiar. Then he suddenly remembered and asked tentatively, Jiang Linyue, may I ask who you are? Jiang Linyue asked on purpose. The truth was, Huamin didn't remember Jiang Linyue's name on purpose. It was just that last time when he went to the company to resolve a crisis. During the executive meeting, Jiang Linyue had been opposing her the entire time. She only stopped after he invited Mo Shui and Ni Yang and slapped her in the face. She could understand how the female employees felt about Qin Shu. After all, her boss was so handsome, rich, and handsome. Which woman wouldn't like him? However, the fact that Jiang Linyue could pick up Qin Shu's phone made her very, very unhappy. Moreover, the woman purposely asked, Who are you? Qin Shu never saved anyone's phone number, but he had hundreds of customer numbers in his head. However, Huamin was always the #1 name in Qin Shu's phone. Huamin's nickname was Beloved Wife. She didn't believe that Jiang Linyue was blind. She could only say that this woman was starting to play mind games with her. Don't you know who I am? Huamin asked coldly. That's funny. How would I know if you didn't tell me? Jiang Linyue was also full of hostility. Why are you picking up Qin Shu's phone call? Huamin asked bluntly. No matter how busy he is, how could he pick up the phone? Of course, I picked it up for him, Jiang Linyue purposely said in a coquettish voice. Huamin chuckled and suddenly asked, Do you know a saying that's been circulating on the internet lately? What saying? Jiang Linyue didn't understand what Huamin meant and asked cautiously. Chapter 670. Knows when no die, Huamin said, word for word. Jiang Linyue's face immediately darkened. Huamian usually looked weak and easy to get along with, but her words were so powerful. If you don't look for trouble, you won't die. It was a very practical warning. However, Jiang Linyue was no longer in the mood to listen. She was only thinking about how to break up Qin Shu and Huamian's love life. Is that so? But I just like to cause trouble. If I don't do it for a day, my whole body will feel uncomfortable. Jiang Linyue laughed viciously, blatantly challenging Huamin's patience. Just then, Jiang Linyue heard footsteps outside the door. Then, before Huamin could say anything, she hung up the phone and quickly deleted her call history. Then, she turned off her phone. Just as she placed her phone on the table, Qin Shu pushed open the door and walked in. They were just having a meeting about the new winter jewelry release. During this time, Qin Shu was called out by the CFO to talk about some personal matters. The other colleagues also went to drink water one after another and went to rest. However, just as Jiang Linyue was about to leave, she heard Qin Shu's phone ring. Originally, she was going to take President Qin's phone, but when she saw the caller ID, My Beloved Wife, she became envious. She couldn't help but feel envious, jealous, and hateful. So, She picked up the phone and started a fight with Huang Mian over the phone. Seeing Qin Chu walk in, Jiang Linyue immediately handed the phone to him. President Qin, you came back just in time. I was just about to give it to you, but it might have run out of battery and turned off. Qin Chu didn't say anything. He took the phone and looked at it. Then he turned around and left. Seeing that Qin Chu didn't suspect anything, Jiang Linyue seemed to sigh in relief. Huang Mian had no intention of calling back, because he already knew what was going on. Jiang Linyue, that little bitch, undoubtedly took advantage of Qin Chu's absence to secretly pick up the phone. I still have to pretend that I have a very close relationship with Chairman Qin. I'm such an idiot. What kind of person was Huang Mian? Would he misunderstand Qin Chu and hold a grudge against him because of this? Of course not. She trusted Qin Chu, just like how Qin Chu trusted her. Not only did she not call Qin Chu to question him about this, she even planned on secretly teaching Jiang Linyue, this scheming bitch, a lesson. She didn't lower herself to argue with Jiang Linyue at the opening ceremony last time, and thought she would be more low-key. Who knew that she would be even more flamboyant? That was why it was said that some people were obviously shameless. When they were for a while, they would say, they didn't know what to do when they say, why? When did you come home every day at night? She wondered if you were having an affair with Lon from next door. She said, for example, you for her, husband for her. She, and you did Lon. No, knows with her, so, no. In other words, don't make things up, even if you don't mean it. Because after a long time, it would subtly send a message to her husband, making him wonder if he had an affair with that person called Xiaolon. Later on, when he saw Xiaolon, he would have a subtle reaction. In the end, things that shouldn't have happened would happen. The husband's cheating rate would obviously increase. This was the most unwise thing for a woman. Therefore, Huang Mian didn't plan on mentioning Jiang Linyue to Qin Chu, because a clown like her didn't deserve to get between them. On the other side, Wei Liao added Jiang Xiaowei as a friend. After a long time, he still didn't get a response, so he couldn't sit still anymore. He added her twice in a row. He even left a comment saying, "Hello, I'm Wei Liao." Finally, Jiang Xiaowei replied, but she still didn't add him. Instead, she asked, "Who's Wei Liao?" "The one you made a bet with last night." Wei Liao explained patiently, sweating profusely. "The one I drank with last night was my good friend, Huang Mian. Don't try to fool me." Wei Liao, "So, you're sober and not admitting it?" Wei Liao asked angrily. "So did I do anything to you?" Jiang Xiaowei's question made Wei Liao speechless. Chapter 671. Fine, you win. Wei Liao had never met a woman like this in all his years. She almost crippled him last night, and now she was shamelessly asking who he was? He felt like Jiang Xiaowei was no longer on the same level as Huang Mian. Huang Mian was a rational person. He knew that he was married and didn't want to talk to Lord Su. However, he didn't pretend that he didn't know Lord Su. However, Jiang Xiaowei was definitely the type of witch who would eat people whole without spitting out their bones. Wei Liao thought that this woman was as sweet as a Japanese AV actress, but she was more wicked than anyone else. If they slept together, he wouldn't even have to take responsibility. The woman wouldn't even admit to it. It was a pity that someone like her was a doctor in psychology. She should have been the #1 woman at Imperial Star. She could deal with the media. Wei Liao felt depressed and decided not to add Jiang Xiaowei. Jiang Xiaowei also forgot about it. Her parents kept urging her to try on the dress for the engagement party, but she refused to go downstairs. The truth was, her parents knew that she didn't want to go. However, for their daughter's happy marriage, they didn't care about anything else. It was rare for Qin Chu to get off work early, so he drove straight to Southside to pick up Huang Mian. "Why are you here?" Huang Mian saw Mr. Qin and immediately stopped being shy. "I'm picking you up from work, so we can go to the old house for dinner and visit your mom." "Huh, okay. Jixin is home today." Huang Mian was in a good mood when he heard that they were going back to his home. After they packed up, they got into Qin Chu's car and left the Audi in the parking lot at Southside. When the two passed by the supermarket, they went downstairs to buy a lot of food and fruit for dinner. When they arrived at the old house, it was almost 7 p.m. Luckily, they called their mother earlier, so they were waiting for them to eat. Sis, you're finally back. I'm starving, Jing Jixin yelled. To their surprise, Huang Yu was there as well. They had already become a pair of inseparable lovers. Huang Yu was still a bit reserved when she saw Huamin and Qin Chu. Mian, you guys are back. Huang Yu, who was wearing a pink dress, was still young after all. She was dressed very delicately. Jixin was a warm guy who was nice to his sister, let alone his girlfriend. When he was with Huang Yu, the two of them had almost no arguments. Every day, they were sweet and loving. WeChat's WeChat moments. Huamian didn't understand why he was being so high-profile, but she wouldn't stop him. After all, everyone had different ways of expressing joy. Since time was limited, Huamian bought ingredients for hot pot from the supermarket. The five of them sat under a big tree in the courtyard and began to eat the steaming hot pot. Yang Meirong was no longer as hostile towards Qin Chu as before. Occasionally, she would even say, "You should eat more." "Thank you, Auntie." Qin Chu was a bit flattered. Regardless of what kind of person Yang Meirong was, at least she raised Huamin for more than 20 years. Moreover, she didn't favor Huamin over her daughter just because she was a girl. No one thought about this. Although she sometimes had a bad mouth, she was actually a good person. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been tricked by that old thief Hu Zhenghai again and again. To put it bluntly, Yang Meirong was actually an idiot. When she was young, she wasn't scheming and didn't know how to play tricks. Therefore, even after she had a child, she still lost to that bitch Shunjiani. "Sis, you look so cool on the red carpet." "Haha, you recognized you first. I didn't even dare to look at you." Jing Jixin giggled as he watched his sister tease him. Chapter 672. You little brat, are you itching for a beating? How dare you tease your sister? I'm not teasing you. Haha, sis, you're such a weirdo. I can't believe you managed to keep up with that smoky makeup. Plus, you're even more charismatic than those celebrities. The media thought you were a newbie signed by GK and kept snapping photos of you. Haha, I'm dying of laughter. Huang Yu laughed as well. Seeing your sister isn't a beauty, but her charisma is undeniable. Plus, she's good at controlling the situation. Anyways, I like girls like her. If she didn't study medicine and became a celebrity, she would definitely be famous. You too, we're all family. Stop sucking up to me. Thank you, just don't make fun of me. With her chopsticks in her mouth, Huamian smiled as she watched the two of them sing along. Jixin, don't be so rude to your sister. You're a kid, but your sister is married. Don't mess around like that. Your brother-in-law is here. Yang Meirong lectured her son. It's okay, Auntie, I'm used to it. Jixin is actually very good to Mian. Qin Chu rarely saw such a warm scene. During this time, there weren't enough vegetables, so Huamin got up to wash them. Jixin also quietly followed them. Sis, I want to ask you something. What is it? Do you have a baby yet? Huamin was speechless. She wasn't even worried about this. But it seemed like Jixin was even more worried than she was. Why do you keep asking? Huamin looked at Jixin, confused. I'm asking for Mom. She always calls me to ask, but other than the person involved, how would I know? Don't worry, I'll definitely tell you guys. Okay, I also want to be an uncle. Jixin stuck out his tongue. You're still young? You're already 19, but I'm still a kid. Ahem. Come here, I want to ask you something. Now, it was Huamin's turn to ask. What? Did you do it? Huamin was too embarrassed to ask, but Jixin immediately understood. She immediately replied, Sis, what era are we living in now? Do you think everyone is as innocent and simple as you? Love isn't as simple as holding hands. Of course, we're together. I was planning to move out with her when I started my internship in my 4th year. Then you have to be careful. Don't let Xiao Yu get pregnant. After all, you're still young. If you want it, there will be too much pressure. If you don't want it, abortion will harm the girl's body. Got it, sis. We have all taken precautions. Don't worry. Jing Jixin patted his sister's shoulder and said confidently. Huamin was also speechless. His younger brother was only 19 years old, but the way he spoke was so sophisticated. Was he thinking too little? Or did she think that Jixin was too pure? After dinner, Huang Yu was cleaning the yard while Qin Shu and Ji Xin sat in the yard drinking tea. Huamin went into the kitchen to help his mother wash the dishes. Mom, in the future, if you have any questions, just ask me. Don't call Ji Xin. After all, he's a boy. It'll be awkward if he keeps asking me if I have a baby. Haha. Huamin smiled coyly. You don't be so heartless. You're like me. Since you're lucky enough to marry into a rich family, you have to plan for everything. It doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl. You can't not have children. I know. It's not that I don't want children. I really don't have any right now. Huamin looked innocent. Your body is a bit thin. Find a reliable Chinese medicine doctor and see if you have a cold body. Take more Chinese medicine to nourish your body. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Mom, I studied medicine, so I know. The reason I can't get pregnant isn't necessarily because I'm sick. It's because pregnancy is actually very magical. The combination of sperm and egg isn't as simple as you think. In fact, conception is an extremely complicated process. Sigh, forget it. You wouldn't understand even if I told you. Huamin originally wanted to explain it to his mother, but after a few sentences of professional knowledge, his mother wasn't interested in listening, so he decided not to say anything. Then, she took out an envelope from her bag and handed it over. Mom, take this money. Why are you giving me money again? I don't need money. Young Meiyerong refused to take it. Chapter 673. Don't worry, Mom. This money doesn't belong to the Qin family. It's my own salary. I don't lack food right now, so I don't need this money. Sometimes, you don't even want to eat when your store isn't doing well. Don't be so hard on yourself. We're all grown up now. It's time for you to enjoy life. No matter what Yang Meiyerong said, Huamin stuffed the envelope into his mother's apron pocket. There were 20,000 yuan inside. Huamin didn't dare to give his mother too much money, because even if he gave her too much cash, she wouldn't spend it. It wasn't safe to keep it at home. Okay, then I'll keep it for you. If you need it in the future, I'll give it to you. I don't need it. Just think of it as living expenses. Mom, if you want to go back to your hometown, I'll take some time off to go back with you. Huamin vaguely remembered that his mother hadn't gone back to her hometown for a few years. No. Why would I go back? Your grandparents aren't here anymore. Only those gambler uncles of yours. They only want money when they see me, nothing else. A while ago, your aunt saw that you were interviewed on TV and called me. She said that you married into a rich family and wanted you to find a good partner for her shilling, but I rejected her. I don't want to talk to someone like your aunt. I might get into trouble if I don't deal with her. Okay, but if you want to go back to your hometown, remember to tell me. I'll go with you. Okay, I'm not going back. From now on, wherever you and Jishin are, that's where my home is, Yang Meiyerong said as she washed the dishes. Mom, oh right, I suddenly thought of something. What is it? I heard, not long after I was born, Hui Zhenghai wanted to do a DNA test. Uncle Jing carry me there? Yeah. I wasn't out of confinement at the time, so I didn't have time to care about that. That proved that I'm his daughter. Did he say anything? Huamin asked tentatively. He gave me a sum of money, about 200,000 yuan. I don't care about his filthy money. I told your Uncle Jing to return it, and we've never seen each other again. Oh. Huamin looked thoughtful. What's wrong? Why are you asking about this all of a sudden? Yang Meiyerong looked at her daughter curiously. It's nothing. Ha. I suddenly remembered that I caused quite a commotion back then, and I even did a DNA test. Hu Jinghai is such a cautious person, so he should have done a DNA test. That's right. He's an old fox. Then, Huamin didn't say anything else. After washing the dishes, he walked out of the kitchen. It's getting late. Hubby, let's go home. All right. Qin Shu stood up gracefully. Brother-in-law, don't forget that I'm going to do an internship at your place during the holidays. All right. Qin Shu nodded. Then, the two of them bid farewell to their mother and walked out of the old house. What did you ask about Jishin again? It's nothing. Don't spoil him too much, Huamin advised. I know. Honey, there's something strange. Can you help me analyze it? In the car, Huamin thought about what had happened recently and decided to share it with Qin Shu. Okay, go ahead. I'm not Hu Jinghai's daughter, that's for sure. However, I heard that Uncle Jing took me to Huazhenghai for a DNA test and confirmed that I was his daughter. At the time, Huazhenghai gave me 200,000 yuan for child support. My mom didn't want it and asked Uncle Jing to return it to Huazhenghai. What do you want to ask? Qin Shu asked as he drove. I want to ask, why did Uncle Jing hide my identity from me in Huazhenghai? Maybe he didn't want to reveal the truth, Qin Shu said slowly. Huomin nodded. Not only that, I suspect that Uncle Jing didn't give the 200,000 yuan my mom returned to Huazhenghai. Instead, he gave it to the doctor who did the DNA test. Qin Chu continued. Smart. That's exactly what I was thinking. Now, everything makes sense. Uncle Jing tried his best to hide my identity and worked with the doctor who did the DNA test to fool Huazhenghai. That's why the Hua family doesn't know about it. Oh, wait. I can't say that the Hua family doesn't know. I think Hua Xiqian knows about my identity. Hua Xiqian. Qin Chu felt extremely uncomfortable when he heard his name. Chapter 674. Yeah, how'd he know? I'm not sure, I just have a feeling that he knows a lot of things. Huomin said slowly as he rested his chin on his hand. That's not completely impossible. Anyways, it's better to stay away from Hua Xiqian. I know. Huomin nodded. When they got home, Huomin originally wanted to eat some snacks and watch some soap operas with Qin Chu. However, he picked up a phone call and began to work again. Honey, I'm going to study for a video conference. Okay. Don't wait up for me. Go to bed if you're sleepy. Okay. Huomin nodded obediently. Qin Chu was about to go upstairs when he suddenly stopped and said, Oh right, honey, GK's 30-year anniversary party is next week at the Ritz-Carlton. It's going to be very grand, and there's going to be a grand banquet. If you want to invite friends, tell Yang in advance, and he'll arrange a list for you. Okay. Huomin nodded. Then, Qin Chu went into the study and began to work. Huomin, on the other hand, took a shower, changed into his pajamas, and played with WeChat in bed. Sisterling, you've been very busy lately. When are you going to come out for dinner? I've been flying a long line lately, damn it. The flight attendant probably thinks I'm too pretty, so she kept delaying my annual leave and wouldn't sign it. I have to work nonstop and have no time to go out and have fun. Huh, everyone has their busy days. The weather is getting colder now, so it's the peak season for your airline. A lot of us northerners are going south because of the cold. Of course, I don't even have time to drink water. I don't want to work anymore. When I marry into a rich family, I'll just quit and live in a mansion like you, drive a luxury car, and flirt with super rich people. Huffed. Don't talk nonsense. When did I flirt with super rich people? Huomin was so angry that he almost vomited blood. Ha, that's right. You're not the one trying to flirt with Suyu. It's Suyu who wants to flirt with you. Zhu Lingling laughed. Do you think I'm a tea leaf that you can brew whenever you want? Huomin replied. Ha ha. Stop laughing. What's going on between you and Gao Ran recently? There's nothing going on. Are you lying to me like a 3-year-old child? I don't believe you. Ha. Nothing really happened. If you don't tell me, I'll have my Lord Qin interrogate Gao Ran. Don't. Actually, we just had a meal together a few days ago. It was his treat. He said that there was a new roasted pig trotter restaurant on the west side of the city, so we went there, Zhu Lingling said with a guilty conscience. What about the roasted pig trotters after you finished eating? Huomin continued to interrogate. After eating the roasted pig trotters, of course we'll go back home and find our mothers. I don't. Haha, it's true. Don't overthink it. We're as pure as ethanol. Ethanol isn't pure. It's alcohol. Zhu Lingling sis, don't ask anymore. If something happens, I'll definitely tell you. It's fine if you don't tell me. I'm going to ask Lin Shuejiao out for dinner with Gao Ran in the next few days so that they can get back together. Huomin said on purpose. Fuck. You wouldn't dare? Zhu Lingling immediately lost her cool. See? I knew you had something up your sleeve. You're torturing me. I admit that I like him a little, okay? But don't tell me. If he doesn't confess, I won't confess. I'll hold it in. Let's see who'll go crazy from holding it in. Zhu Lingling said proudly. Fine. Your way of thinking is ridiculous. Huomin looked helpless. After chatting with Zhu Lingling, Huomin made a cup of coffee and brought it to Qin Chu. Qin Shu was in a video conference with more than a dozen executives on the other side. Huamin immediately saw that Jiang Linyue was there as well, so she purposely put the coffee aside. Then, she wrapped her arms around Qin Shu's neck and said coquettishly, "Honey, I don't dare to sleep alone. Stop the conference and stay with me." Seeing a young lady acting coquettishly with the big boss, the executives on the other side of the video conference were all confused. Jiang Linyue felt terrible. Chapter 675. Qin Shu turned around dotingly and looked into Hua Min's sad eyes. His heart immediately ached so. He turned around and said, "That's all for today. Thank you for your hard work." The executives were once again in an uproar. The president was at a critical point in the meeting, but a young lady suddenly threw a tantrum and interrupted the meeting. Did he have to be so willful? "Sir, we were just at a critical point, but you still haven't told us the details of the lucky draw. Are we going to use our own jewelry or the current Italian brand OW?" Jiang Linyue didn't want to give up, so she tried to use work to tie down Qin Shu. Qin Shu coldly glanced at the people in the video and said, "If I'm the one who decides all the details, why would the company need executives like you?" Everyone was speechless. No one dared to say anything. Qin Shu reached out his hand and closed the video without hesitation. "Honey, I'm sorry. Next time I'll try to finish it during the day so I don't have to work at night." Qin Shu looked at Huamin apologetically. To be honest, Huamin was extremely touched. She only wanted to play a little trick and show off her territorial rights to that scheming bitch, Jiang Linyue. However, she didn't expect Qin Shu to spoil her so much that he even stopped such an important meeting. Even she felt a little guilty. Was she being too reckless? "Honey, why don't you continue with the meeting? I can sit here and keep you company." Huamin tried to persuade him. "No, it's too late. You have to work tomorrow and can't stay up late. Let's go." Qin Shu put his arm around Hua Min's shoulder. The two walked out of the study. "Honey, are you hungry?" Qin Shu suddenly asked. Hua Min shook her head. The truth was, she was sleepy. If she didn't see that Jiang Linyue was also having a video conference, she was going to make Qin Shu a cup of coffee and go back to bed. However, since that woman was there, she had no choice but to act coquettishly. She didn't expect Qin Shu to be so awesome. Without another word, he immediately closed the video conference. He spoiled her to the heavens. On the other side, the boss had already turned off its camera. The others were still there. "Director Jiang, you too. President Qin is famous for doting on his wife. Why did you have to go against him?" Someone sighed. Jiang Linyue said coldly, "If a young lady truly loves President Qin, then she shouldn't interfere with our company's business." What is this? Was he toying with the warlords with the fire beacon? If she keeps messing around like this, GK will fall under her hands sooner or later. She's just a femme fatale. TSK, TSK. Don't let the president hear this, or he'll fire you. All right, it's getting late. Let's all get some rest. The high-ranking officials logged off one after another. Jiang Linyue turned off her computer. Furious, she had prepared a lot of materials and details, and she was going to show them off to the president. However, before she could show them off, Huamin ruined everything. "Huamin, we have a lot of time ahead of us. Other people might be scared of you, but I, Jiang Linyue, am not." Jiang Linyue rolled up the materials she prepared into a ball and threw them into the trash can. On the wide bed, the two fell asleep in each other's arms. Qin Shu hugged Huamin like he was hugging a child. "Honey, will you be this good to me in the future?" Huamin asked as she wrapped her arms around Qin Shu's neck. "Of course. Have you always been like this?" "Yes." Qin Shu didn't hesitate at all. "What about in our next life? If we cross the river of forgetfulness and drink Mingpa's soup, will you still remember me?" "Honey, why are you so sad today?" Qin Shu smiled as he gently stroked Huamin's hair. Chapter 676. "I don't know. I just suddenly had an epiphany," Huamin mumbled quietly. His wife had always been very rational and rarely asked childish questions about her past life, like a little girl. However, he was still willing to cooperate and answer. No matter how many bowls of soup I drink, I will never forget you. Huamin tightened her arms around Qin Shu's waist. She was suddenly very afraid of being separated from Qin Shu. It would be best if they could live like this forever. They could fight, they could have cold wars, but she didn't want to be separated anymore. Although she pretended to be indifferent when Qin Shu was gone and had already let go of him, only she knew that she had never let go. It was the same when she dated Ning Ziyuan for a few years. It was because she was too calm that she didn't care about him at all. She agreed to marry Ning Ziyuan because she knew that there was no hope between her and Qin Shu. Until the king returned, no matter how cruel the methods he used to bring her back to him, it was only because he loved her deeply. During the 7 years in the States, he endured a long period of loneliness and longing. All of this was so that when he returned to China, he could officially marry her. Marrying Huamin was a dream that he had planned since he was young. He had never given up. He would always cherish the time he spent with Huamin. Because time was passing, they were both getting old. He didn't want to waste a single second. Huamin fell asleep peacefully in Qin Shu's arms. Qin Shu gently kissed her forehead. "Mian, don't worry. I will do my best to help you find your parents." The next morning, after the two finished breakfast, Qin Shu drove Huamin to Southside and then went to GK. As soon as Huamin arrived at Southside, he was dizzy with work. Ever since the hospital was reformed, it seemed to be many times more popular than before. Some patients even recovered and refused to leave, even if it meant burning money. Huamin was speechless at that moment. Huamin's phone rang. "Sister Huamin, I'm waiting for you in the VIP hypnosis room." It was Anai Yang's voice. "Okay, I'll be right there." Huamin said a few words and went up to the top floor. Anai Yang was still wearing his sunglasses and mask. Sitting there, he looked much better. His eyes were no longer blue and his skin was dark yellow. "Sister Huamin, how'd you been these days?" "It's all right. I'm sleeping much better now. I used to sleep less than 4 hours the day before, but now I can sleep for 6.5 hours. 6.5 is not enough. Normal people sleep for 8 hours. You still have to work hard." And Aiyang nodded. "Yeah, I know. Also, I've finished watching Naruto. It was so good that I almost cried. As long as you like it, are there any other cartoons that you can introduce?" Slam Dunk. Although the movie is a bit old, the spirit here is worth learning. "Okay, I'll download it when I get home today. Don't just play all the time." "Hasn't GK started promoting it?" "They have. Mr. Qin is really awesome. Other than making a New Year's movie for me and Mo Schwer, he also made a sci-fi movie for me and a few other Hollywood superstars. However, my schedule is too full right now, so Sister Ingzi has already rescheduled me to 3 months from now." "That's good. Don't tire yourself out. Celebrities don't necessarily have to take on more movies. You have to take on quality ones and avoid crappy ones." I know. Have you seen that person recently?" Huamin suddenly asked, and Ai Yang's originally good mood instantly fell to the bottom. "No, I don't want to see her for the rest of my life." "About you guys. I'll help you sort things out when I have time." "All right, take these vitamins when you're free. They'll strengthen your immune system." Huamin took out a bottle of vitamins from her white lab coat. "Thank you, Sister Huamin." "Okay, don't be so polite with me. Call me if you need anything." "Okay." After sending off an Ai Yang, Huamin was just about to go do his rounds when he saw Jiang Shaowei walk in. "Huamin, come here for a second." Jiang Shaowei waved her hand and mysteriously called Huamin to the side. Chapter 677. What's wrong? Huamin lowered his voice and asked. "Who's Wei Liao?" "Huamin, why do you look like that?" Jiang Shaowei looked at Huamin curiously. "You're so scary when you drink too much. I can't believe you actually lost your memory." Huamin stared at Jiang Shaowei and said, word for word, Did I miss something important?" Jiang Shaowei really did drink too much that day, even though she took some hangover medicine. However, drinking that much still took her life. She might have pretended to be sober at Seductive Fox, but when she got home and went to bed, she basically forgot everything. The next day, when she woke up at noon, she saw that her ceiling was still spinning. She didn't eat anything that day. Because it reeked of alcohol, she locked her door and pretended to be sick, afraid that her parents would go crazy if they found out. Jiang Xiaowei's parents were famous professors and came from a family of scholars. They had high expectations of her, and their family rules were strict. Therefore, her parents didn't know that Jiang Xiaowei was so rebellious in private. It seemed like Jiang Xiaowei really forgot. Huamin pulled her in his office and told her everything that happened that day. Huh, I actually did something like that? What do you think? You're still very inhumane when you drink too much. Huamin sighed. No wonder that Wei Liao kept adding me on WeChat. I thought he was harassing me. Huamin, alright, did you record what happened that day? It must have been fun for him to run around naked, right? Of course not. Wei Liao would kill me. Only Su Yu would do something so immoral. Huamin vaguely remembered that Su Yu seemed to have recorded a video of him gloating that day. Other people wouldn't dare to record it even if they had more guts. Really? Su Yu has a record. Huh. Then I'll go back and ask Su Yu for it. Do you know Su Yu? Huamin was a little surprised. I don't know him. Don't you know him? Jiang Xiaowei said matter-of-factly. Huamin, I know him, but I don't really know him. Plus, if Mr. Qin finds out that I've met Su Yu in private, he'll get jealous. I can't do something that would make Mr. Qin jealous. All right, I'll settle it myself. After speaking, Jiang Xiaowei got up to leave. Is the engagement still reliable? Who knows? Let them arrange it for the time being. When the day comes, whether or not I go depends on my mood. After speaking, Jiang Xiaowei turned around and left. Everyone said that Huamin was capricious. Huamin thought that compared to Jiang Xiaowei, he was like an idiot. This woman didn't even think about getting engaged. How could she stand him up? He was Gao Ran's cousin, so he had to take care of him. When Huamin got off work, he had to go back to South Hill Manor with Mr. Qin because it was Friday. Therefore, she enthusiastically went to GK first. Recently, GK was busy with the 30-year anniversary, so everyone was working overtime. It looked very grand. As soon as Huamin entered the company, all the employees greeted him. A young lady was already announced to the world by their boss, so no one dared to offend her. Huamin was about to go upstairs, but he suddenly saw Jiang Linyue in the lobby. He wasn't in a hurry to leave, so he lingered in front of the elevator for a while. Jiang Linyue was wearing a dark blue suit and black high heels. Her hair was loose, reaching her waist. She was beautiful, had a great figure, and was capable. However, it was best not to have any wishful thinking. Although Huamin usually looked gentle and honest, she had a very bad habit. She abhorred evil, and once someone truly angered her, she would never let them off lightly. Jiang Linyue glanced at Huamin, but she didn't seem to have any intention of greeting him. Instead, she looked down and played with her phone. Director Jiang, you're not young anymore, right? Huamin smiled and took the initiative to speak. Jiang Linyue tilted her head and looked at Huamin with a complicated expression, full of hostility. Chapter 678. Since you're not young anymore, you should have a boyfriend by now, right? Does it have anything to do with a young lady, whether I have a boyfriend or not? Jiang Linyue asked provocatively. Huamin smiled faintly. Of course it doesn't matter to me if you have a boyfriend or not, but if you have ulterior motives towards Qin Shu, then I can't just sit back and do nothing, you know? It's really unwise to steal something that doesn't belong to you. Huh, I haven't even tried. How do you know that it doesn't belong to me? Jiang Linyue seemed unconvinced. You have to be capable to be a mistress. At the very least, you have to be liked by a man. If a man doesn't even look at you, then you're not a mistress. You're shameless, got it? You're the type that offers yourself to him, but he doesn't even want you. Huamin felt like there was no need to be polite when talking to Jiang Linyue. She should have slapped Huamian for taking Qin Shu's call in private that day. When they went home that day, Huamin specifically checked Qin Shu's phone, and sure enough, this woman deleted the call history. From the looks of it, Qin Shu didn't know about this phone call. It was rare to see such a disgusting woman with such a disgusting method. A young lady, aren't you always full of confidence? Where did you lose your confidence? Did you come here to warn me because you sense danger? Is it because I'm making you feel pressured? Or is it because the boss hasn't been treating you well lately, so you're taking it out on me, huh? Huamin chuckled quietly. What are you laughing at? Jiang Linyue hated Huamin's fearless expression the most. It was as if she wouldn't be afraid, even if the sky collapsed. I'm laughing at you. You think you're so smart, but you don't understand what I'm trying to say. Since you don't understand, then I'll be frank with you. I'm here to warn you, not because you're a threat to me, but because I don't want my things to be taken away by someone else. What I'm trying to say is, if you keep looking for trouble, then prepare a coffin for yourself, because anyone who touches my man will die. Just as she finished speaking with a smile, the elevator came down. Huamin walked into the elevator and ignored Jiang Linyue. Jiang Linyue stood in place, her face pale with anger. She really hated Huamin's face. If they weren't at GK, she would have beaten her up and scratched her face. What are you being so arrogant for? Wasn't she just relying on the fact that she had slept with a boss 7 years ago? She was already so scheming in high school. But don't forget that men were creatures who thought with their lower bodies. She didn't believe that Qin Chu and Huamian's relationship was stronger than gold. She had to try. Otherwise, she would have suffered all these years at GK for nothing. When Huamin entered the office, Qin Chu had not returned yet. She sat on the sofa and read a magazine while Xiaoyang poured her a glass of warm milk. Why is it hot milk and not coffee? Not tea. Huamin thought it was strange that Qin Chu would serve her milk. I'm sorry, young lady. The boss said that you guys are planning on having a baby, so he doesn't want you to drink too much of that stuff. Tea is good, but can cause insomnia, so milk is the healthiest. Did he have to tell me that himself? Huamin was a little dumbfounded. However, she still felt warm inside. After all, Mr. Qin had thought of every detail for her. When Jiang Xiaowei was at work, she received a special patient. The patient asked her to meet at a bistro. She curiously went to the appointment, but when she saw that it was Wei Liao, she immediately remembered what happened. Dr. Jiang, how have you been? Wei Liao smiled. You're the patient who asked me to see a doctor? Jiang Xiaowei was speechless. She was a psychiatrist specially hired by the Ministry of Public Security, and she would only see patients when the Ministry of Public Security arranged for her. Last time, when she went to hypnotize an Yang, it was Gao Ran who invited her. This time, the director of the Public Security Bureau personally called her, so she thought it was some big shot. It turned out to be this person. Chapter 679. Let me put it this way. Du Jianan wants to marry me because of the Jiang family's scholarly background. I don't have a romantic history, so it sounds nice to say that I'm suitable to be his wife. I want to marry him because he's young, rich, not ugly, elegant, and smart. Everything is perfect. At our age, don't even talk about love because sometimes love is like a ghost. Many people have heard of it, but few have seen it. I didn't know you were such a pessimistic person. Wei Liao didn't expect Jiang Xiaowei, who had a pair of canine teeth, to be so sad. It turned out that she was such a sad person. She even thought that love was a non-existent thing. How pitiful. You've never had a boyfriend before? Does kindergarten count? Fine, you win. Wei Liao suddenly thought of something. It wasn't good for a woman to be too smart. No man liked a woman who was too smart. Even someone as smart as Huamin was still muddle-headed in front of Qin Chu. So, no matter how beautiful and outstanding Jiang Xiaowei was, she had never met someone who truly loved her. Or perhaps there was someone who loved her, but she didn't like them, so she never had a romantic history. Don't look at me with that pitiful gaze. I don't feel good. Come, Dr. Jiang, sit down and let's talk. Wei Liao suddenly felt sympathetic. Sorry, my time is precious. If you're not going to treat me, then I'm leaving. Seeing that Wei Liao was bullshitting, Jiang Xiaowei didn't want to waste any more time with him. Jiang Xiaowei was such a smart and logical person. After Jiang Xiaowei left, Wei Liao couldn't calm down. He felt that Jiang Xiaowei was too pitiful. She knew that marriage was like a graveyard, but she still stepped into it. Why'd he feel so bad? GK headquarters. Huamin was waiting for Qin Chu, and he was a bit drowsy. Just as he was about to fall asleep, Qin Shu pushed open the door and walked in. As soon as he saw Huamin, his gaze became gentle. "Honey, have you been waiting for a long time?" "Not long. About the time I took to drink a glass of milk." Huamin pointed at the glass and smiled. "Good boy. Drink more milk and less coffee and tea from now on." "I know." Huamin smiled. She rubbed her eyes and was about to speak to Qin Shu. Jiang Linyue walked in. "President Qin, the list of all the drinks at the banquet is here. Take a look at the prices and brands." "Put it here." Qin Shu didn't even raise his head. "But, Huamin, Qin Shu's Huamin, Qin. You flatter me. A young lady is too kind," Jiang Linyue said coldly. Huamin smiled as he walked up to Qin Shu. He intimately held onto Qin Shu's arm and smiled. "Honey, Director Jiang is so capable, it would be a waste for her to stay here and be the director of a department. In my opinion, it would be better for her to be transferred to a subsidiary company and be the president." Upon hearing this, Jiang Linyue's expression changed drastically. Qin Shu only said coldly, "She doesn't have enough experience." "No, she's very capable. Last time, when I came to save the day, she helped me a lot." "Honey, after the incident in T-City, you fired the president, and there's no suitable candidate. I think Director Jiang is the best candidate," Huamin said on purpose. Only then did Qin Shu look up, because he realized that Huamian was starting to be aggressive towards Jiang Linyue. The subsidiary company in T-City was a mess, and no one dared to take it. Not to mention Jiang Linyue. Upon hearing Huamin's words, Jiang Linyue was scared out of her wits. She immediately said, "President Qin, no, I don't want to go. I've been working in the luxury department for years, and I really like this job." Qin Shu glanced at Jiang Linyue and didn't say anything, as if he was calculating something in his mind. "Honey, what do you think of my suggestion?" Huamin coquettishly shook Qin Shu's arm. Chapter 680. Whatever you say, honey. Qin Shu's voice was always infinitely gentle in front of Huamin. Upon hearing Qin Shu's words, Jiang Linyue's face turned pale. The president loved his wife so much that he was willing to transfer a woman who didn't know how to manage a company. Yet, the president acquiesced. Was there still any justice in this? "Director Jiang, what do you think of my suggestion?" Huamin wrapped his arms around Qin Shu's neck from behind and smiled at Jiang Linyue. "I don't think a young lady's decision is wise. After all, I'm only a design director. I don't think I'm good enough to manage a subsidiary company." Jiang Linyue was furious as she replied with clenched teeth. "No, I think you're too capable. You've always done a good job. Being a design director is a waste of your talent. We believe in you." Jiang Linyue was about to refute. However, Huamin continued, "Of course, if you don't think you're good enough for this position, you can resign. After all, everyone has their own choices. Don't worry, since you've been with the company for many years, President Qin will give you an unemployment guarantee." Upon hearing this, Jiang Linyue's face turned completely dark. "I won't resign. I'm good enough. Thank you, a young lady, for giving me this job." Jiang Linyue bit her lip and said stiffly, "Oh, if that's the case, then you could take over today. Fly to T-City tonight. There's still a lot of things waiting to be taken care of." "Leaving tonight? Isn't that too soon?" Jiang Linyue looked at Qin Shu pleadingly. It was as if she was hoping that the president would say something for her. "But, do as my wife says. If you have any problems, talk to Assistant Yang. That's all." After Qin Shu spoke faintly, he lowered his head and continued to look at the data. Jiang Linyue's smile was uglier than her crying face. "Thank you, President Qin. Thank you, a young lady, for helping me." She clenched her teeth and left with hatred in her heart. After Jiang Linyue left, Qin Shu looked up and lovingly pinched Huamin's cheek. "This is the first time I've seen you jealous. You're so overbearing. What? You don't like it?" Huamin tried not to laugh. "No, I like it. If you're always so domineering, you could be the president of GK. I'll go home and cook for you and take care of the kids." "Haha, all right, I'll keep my word." Huamin couldn't stop laughing. Of course, but the premise is that we have to have a child first. Otherwise, how can I raise it? After saying that, Qin Shu suddenly turned around and hugged Huamin, letting her sit in his arms. Hey, this is the office. Don't mess around. Huamin was scared out of his wits. It's fine. There are no surveillance cameras in the office. It's not about the surveillance, but what if someone comes in? Huamin didn't finish his sentence. His words were drowned by Qin Shu's overbearing kiss. Of course, he knew that they were in the office. He didn't want to do anything. He just wanted to kiss her. So, wasn't his wife a little too impure for overthinking things? When Jiang Linyue walked out of the president's office, she had already cursed Huamin 1,000 times in her mind. She didn't think that woman would be so reckless as to transfer her. She didn't expect the president to agree. Was he trying to force her to resign? Back off? Would she? No. Wasn't it just a branch company? She was going to persevere. She wasn't going to be easily defeated by that woman. Huamin, a little impatient, spoils great plans. Director Jiang. Are you okay? The assistant asked when she saw that Jiang Linyue didn't look well. Starting today, I'm no longer your director. I've been transferred to the branch company in T-City as the president. After speaking, Jiang Linyue began to pack her things with a grim expression. When Jiang Linyue was transferred, the news spread within GK. There were also rumors that she offended the president's wife. That was why she was exiled. Finally, when it was time to get off work, Qin Shu held Huamin's hand and walked out of GK's headquarters. The two were planning to go straight home to South Hill Manor. But as soon as they got into the car, Qin Shu received a call. Young master, Madam Lin is in the hospital, the maid said anxiously. Chapter 681. Oh, really? Qin Shu's reaction was indifferent. Yes, she was just sent to the first hospital. Her blood pressure is very high, and the doctor said it's dangerous. Okay, I got it. When are you going to the hospital? The maid asked. I'll see how it goes. Qin Shu hung up the phone. What's going on? Huamin could tell something was up. My family called. They said my mom's blood pressure is high, and she's in the hospital. Oh, okay, you should go see her. Although Huamin didn't like Lady Qin, she wouldn't stop Qin Shu from visiting his mother. After all, she was his mother. To her surprise, Qin Shu didn't answer her directly. Instead, he called President Wu. After hanging up, he said, President Wu said it's nothing serious. It's just that her blood pressure is a little high. You should go see her. After all, she's in the hospital. Huamin comforted him. It's okay. She's just forcing me to go back and apologize. I didn't do anything wrong. I won't give in so easily. Plus, she shouldn't have treated you like that. So, I won't forgive her easily this time. She's your mother. But you're my wife, too. Okay, Mr. Qin, if people find out, they'll probably accuse you of forgetting your mother after getting married. Although Huamin said this, she felt sweet inside. After all, Qin Shu was willing to go to such lengths for her. If I always cared about what other people said, I wouldn't be where I am today with you. Okay, Mr. Qin, you're so stubborn. Huamin smiled. Then, the two of them returned to South Hill Manor. First hospital. Did you make the call? Mrs. Qin glared at the maid in frustration. I did. What did he say? Young master said. He knows. He knows what? Didn't you ask him when he's coming to see me? Lady Qin asked fiercely. Yes, but young master said. The maid seemed to be afraid of Lady Qin and didn't dare to tell the truth. What did he say? He said we'll see how things go. What? I'm already hospitalized, and he still wants to check on the situation. My son wasn't like this before. He was very filial. It must be that little bitch Huamin who stopped him from coming to see me. I'm so angry. Your blood pressure is just a little high. There's no need to make such a big fuss and get hospitalized. I don't even know what you're thinking. Qin Yuman looked at his wife helplessly. What do you know? If I don't use some methods to pressure them, the Qin family will soon become the Hua families. Didn't you hear what those people said? Who is Hu Jinghai? She's just a profiteer who covets our Qin family's property. That's why she got that bastard to stir up trouble in our family. Let me tell you, Qin Yuman, as long as I'm alive, I won't allow that little vixen to do evil. Do you understand? I must make my son leave her. Lady Qin seemed to have made up her mind. You're really hopeless? Qin Yuman looked at his wife helplessly and turned to leave. It was really tiring for his family to fight like this. However, Lady Qin didn't seem to have any intention of reflecting. Call Chu again. Tell him that I'm critically ill. The doctor said that my life is in danger, Lady Qin said as she pointed at the maid. Madam, is that really okay? If young master finds out that I lied to him, will he? The maid seemed to be worried. Chapter 682. Just call when I tell you to. What's with the nonsense? Are you the master or am I the master? Since Lady Qin was pressuring her again, the maid quietly took out her phone and dialed again. Sorry, the number you have dialed is currently unavailable. Madam, did the young master turn off his phone? The maid quietly asked. It probably ran out of battery. It'll turn back on in a moment. Keep calling, don't stop. Lady Qin almost perversely pestered her son. Qin Shu knew this would happen, so he turned off his phone a long time ago. He had another phone that Assistant Yang and Huamin could contact. Therefore, he wasn't worried about an emergency at the company. Honey, you used to look down on other people. Why are you suddenly interested in dealing with an insignificant employee of our company? Qin Shu was still in a good mood when he thought about how his wife taught Jiang Linyue a lesson today. He hadn't seen his wife so adorable in a long time. That's because she's too cocky. She wouldn't have died if she didn't ask for it. But she had to. I had to send her on her way. Why didn't you just fire her? Out of sight, out of mind. Qin Shu didn't have any feelings towards Jiang Linyue. In fact, he hated her. Therefore, he wanted to find an opportunity to fire her. However, Huamin said, I have to know my enemy well. I can't let her hide in the dark. If I fire her, who knows where she'll continue to cause trouble. It's better to keep her in the company, so I can observe her at all times. Of course, T-City is far away, but I trust that you'll take care of everything and won't give that woman a chance to cause trouble. Qin Shu looked at her dotingly. You're the smartest person in the world. You made the decision, and you meant what you said. Now, I have to deal with the aftermath. You're smart. Of course, you're my husband. Huamin smiled. When the two returned to South Hill Manor, it was already 6:30 p.m. The butler, Uncle Li, had already prepared an exquisite dinner. Huamin and Qin Shu washed their hands and began eating. Honey, there's too much food. I can't finish it. Huamin didn't have much of an appetite recently, so he couldn't finish the bowl of rice the maid gave him. A young lady, let me pour it out for you. A maid immediately came up to help her. Give it to me, Qin Shu suddenly said. The maid was slightly startled, as if she didn't understand her master's intentions. Give me the rice. Honey, that's my leftovers. We're all in this together. Don't worry about the rice, huh? Huamin joked. It's okay. I don't dislike you. Qin Shu took Huamin's leftover rice from the maid and gracefully put it into his own bowl. Then, he slowly ate his food. Huamin suddenly felt a subtle change in his heart. Her husband, a clean freak, actually ate her leftovers, she thought. Even if it was his parents, he probably wouldn't do something like this. So, to him, was she really just his wife? Perhaps, in a way, she was more than just his wife. Huamin sighed emotionally as she held her chin and quietly watched Qin Shu eat. Qin Shu's table manners were the best she had ever seen. He ate slowly and methodically. Even the expression on his face when he chewed was incomparably handsome. Although he didn't like to smile, perhaps it was this cold temperament that attracted her many years ago. It made her ignore the world's opinions and decide to have a passionate relationship with him. Why are you looking at me like that? Qin Shu looked up and saw Huamian staring at him with her chin in her hand. Chapter 683. You're so weird. You're a clean freak, but you can eat my leftovers. Huamin vaguely remembered that when they were in high school, one of their classmates accidentally spilled milk on Qin Shu's clothes. At the time, the girl was very apologetic and offered to take the milk to Qin Shu's dry cleaning. However, Qin Shu took off his clothes and threw them into the trash can. Since then, he never wore clothes from that brand again. Everyone knew that he was a clean freak and kept people away. However, Huamin stepped on his feet and used scissors to secretly cut off the sleeves of his camouflage uniform during military training. He put a handful of chili powder in his water glass. He even slept on his desk and drooled all over his body. Now that he thought about it, those memories were simply too unbearable. "Your leftovers are delicious," Qin Shu said out of the blue. Huamin was speechless. "Honey, didn't you think I was annoying before? I was so arrogant and pretentious, and I always played pranks on you." "Of course I did," Qin Shu calmly replied as he ate. "Then why do you still like me? Who said I like you?" Huamin was speechless. "I'm obviously taking revenge on you. I hate you so much. That's why I'm keeping you by my side." Huamin was speechless. "Okay, honey, you win." Huamin didn't know what to say about his revenge theory. After dinner, Qin Shu elegantly wiped his mouth and stood up. "Let's go. Where are we going?" Huamin looked suspicious. "I heard that someone bought a lot of vegetable seeds and wants to grow them with their own hands, right?" Qin Shu looked at Huamin, amused. "Ahem, do you think I'm childish?" "You're right. You are childish, but I like it." If he liked her, he liked everything about her, including her childish nature. After changing into their home clothes, the two held hands and walked to the vegetable garden behind the castle. The gardeners were so surprised that their jaws almost dropped. "Sir, madam, let us do this, or else you'll be covered in dirt." "It's okay, we could do it ourselves. You guys should go get some rest." Huamin smiled. She and Qin Shu were busy talking about all kinds of things under the gardener's instructions. Qin Shu picked up a hoe and dug a hole. Huamin planted the seeds, buried them, and watered them. Huamin and Qin Shu were quite tired, but they were happy. By the time they finished planting, it was already 8:30 p.m. The sky was completely dark. The two of them sat on the swings in the backyard. Huomian nestled in Qin Shu's arms and swung on the swing. Then he looked at the stars in the sky and listened to the sound of cicadas. "Honey, did you know? This kind of life was something I didn't even dare to imagine. But now it's happening," Huamin exclaimed. Qin Shu gently stroked Huamin's hair. "If you like, we can live like this for the rest of our lives." "Yes, for the rest of our lives." Huamin tightly held onto Qin Shu's hand. It was rare for the two of them to find peace in the midst of chaos. At the seductive Fox nightclub, Suya had been very quiet lately. After his battle with Qin Shu, although he lost, his desire for battle was aroused. Therefore, he invested most of his energy into his company, trying to compete with GK film and television. While drinking, Suyu suddenly thought of something. He smiled and asked Wei Liao, "The girl who made you run around naked the other day, have you been in contact with her lately?" No wonder Lord Su was the big boss of the entertainment industry. He was very gossipy. "Oh, her. I've been in contact with her. I plan on attending her engagement ceremony this Sunday," Wei Liao slowly said as he held onto his wine glass. "Engagement ceremony?" Su Yu and Tang Chuan both spat out their wine. Chapter 684. What's going on? Tang Chuan opened his mouth wide as he looked at Wei Liao. Even though Wei Liao wasn't the best at flirting with girls, he had never failed in his attempts. He finally met someone he was interested in, but now he had to attend her engagement ceremony? Nothing's going on. Wei Liao smiled helplessly. Have you guys slept together yet?" Tang Chuan asked. "No." "Fuck. Then I'm looking down on you." Tang Chuan felt like that girl was a cooked duck that flew away. That day at Seductive Fox, she was so ruthless. In the end, she was getting engaged, and the most unforgivable thing was that she hadn't slept with Wei Liao yet. Maybe we're just not fated. Wei Liao was honestly interested in Jiang Xiaowei, but she wasn't interested in him. Plus, they were about to get engaged. They were well matched, so he shouldn't get involved, right? Don't say such depressing things to me. You have to learn from our Lord Su. Even if you're married, you won't give up on her. What does that have to do with me? So you looked innocent. He was being attacked for no reason. No, what I mean is, our young Master Wei finally met a woman who's not bad, not pretentious, not a green tea, and not a biological mother. I thought his spring was coming. Who would have thought that before spring came, it's already winter? Tang Chuan felt bad for Wei Liao. I can't help it. It's my fault for being late. Wei Liao spread his hands. At the mention of this, Su Yu felt depressed again. So what if I'm late? It's fate that we met. I'm different from what you think. I won't pester Huamin, but I won't give up. It seemed like Su Yu had made up his mind. Look at Lord Su, and then look at you. Tang Xuan looked at Wei Liao with disdain. Wei Liao only chuckled. His personality wasn't as fiery as Su Yu's, nor was he as direct, although it was a pity to miss out on Jiang Shaowei. But wasn't that unacceptable? After all, they had not interacted much with each other. Therefore, he didn't feel too bad. He just felt a little regretful. The next morning, Qin Chu woke up early and accompanied Huamin to have breakfast. Although it was the weekend, Qin Chu had to work overtime because GK was preparing for its 30-year anniversary party. Huamin wanted to go with her, but she had no choice. The board of directors of the whole corporation had to attend, so she could only return to the whole corporation first. Honey, come home early today. What are the benefits? Qin Chu smiled. There will definitely be benefits. I've already bought a whip and candles for you at home, Huamin teased. Qin Chu smiled. Okay, then I'll come home early today. I'll make sure to have fun with you. After breakfast, Qin Chu drove away. Huamin also drove to the Hua Corporation. On the way, Qin Chu received a phone call. President Qin, I found the IP address of that hater, a young lady. She's a woman named He-Man. MHM, you guys know what to do, right? Qin Chu asked coldly. We do, but the person on the other end of the phone hesitated. Go on. But that woman was in an accident and is still lying in the hospital. She was in a car accident yesterday and broke one of her legs. I heard that the driver who caused the accident fled, and the surveillance cameras at the scene of the accident were destroyed. I'm guessing that she offended someone else. So what should we do now? Should we just... The person on the other end paused, but his intentions were obvious. Chapter 685. Qin Chu was silent for 3 seconds. Not for now. Let's observe her for now. If she continues to defame Huamin, kill her without mercy. Yes, President Qin. After hanging up the phone, Qin Chu let out a sigh of relief. For the past few days, he had been looking for the person who posted the post to defame Huamin. Huamin's 10 deadly sins had a lot of influence, plus his mother's stab in the back. Gossip was a fearful thing. Luckily, Huamin was more open-minded, or else he wouldn't have been able to withstand the pressure of public opinion. Qin Chu didn't know much about He-Man. He also didn't remember any grudges between her and Huamin. However, he just had to remember one thing. Anyone who hurt Huamin would never be forgiven, no matter who it was. As Huamin drove to the whole corporation, he received a WeChat message from Huang Yu. Mian. Good news, even God can't stand that bitchy man anymore. What's wrong? Huamin put on his earphones and called Huang Yu. Mian. She got into a car accident last night. It's terrible. One of her legs was crushed. She's still in a hospital for emergency treatment. The driver who caused the accident has already escaped, and the police can't do anything about it. She paid for all the money herself. I heard that her father came from the countryside and sold their old house, but they still didn't have enough money. Her sugar daddy saw that her leg was broken, so he ignored her. However, Ning Ziyuan came to visit her a few times. I think he left her some money, and then he left. I see, Huamin said faintly. God has eyes, that woman, He-Man, is so annoying. She came back to the hospital, and no nurse took care of her. Her parents took turns coming, and some relatives from her hometown came as well. This is karma. Okay, I got it. After hanging up the phone, Huamin suddenly thought of something. When he went to visit Wu Xiaoxue, he vaguely heard her say that she wouldn't let this go. Could this matter be related to Wu Xiaoxue? When Wu Xiaoxue got into a car accident, the driver also ran away and almost lost the child in her womb. Now that He-Man had met with an accident in the same way, was it really the will of the heavens? Of course not. Huamin felt that it was man-made. However, she didn't think Wu Xiaoxue did anything wrong. An eye for an eye when they arrived at the whole corporation, there was still 10 minutes before the meeting. Huamin wanted to wait in the conference room for a while. Then, walked in. During the board meeting later, remember to speak up for my brother. This time, It's a decision to make him the deputy general manager. Our intention is to gradually take away Hua Xiqian's power. Dad has the same idea. You should know what to do, right? I don't need you to teach me what to do. Huamin lowered her head and played a game on her phone. Huamin, do you think that you can do whatever you want just because you have Qin Shu's support? Huh? Huiyin asked loudly as she walked over with jealousy. Yeah, after I have Qin Shu's support, I feel like the whole world is mine. What's wrong? What's wrong with that? If you have the ability, then you can do it too. Don't you like Suyu? Then go ahead and do it. Why are you wasting your breath on me? What kind of ability is that? Huiyin was so angry that her face turned white. I really want to rip that mouth of yours apart. Dad told me not to lower myself to your level. You bastard. I'll ignore you for now. We'll see what happens. Huiyin really wanted to throw a tantrum. However, they were in the conference room, and the board meeting was in 10 minutes. She didn't dare to go too far. Soon, everyone walked in one after another. There were more than 10 board members, including Huiyin, Hua Zhenghai, Shun Jiani, Hua Si, and Huiyin. Hua Xiqian was the last to enter. After he sat down in the middle, he first looked around. Then his gaze landed on Huamin's face. Little sister Mian, your lipstick color today is really pretty. He smiled. After he said this, all the board members were dumbfounded. What was President Hua doing? Chapter 686. Thank you, Big Brother. Huamin didn't back down and called Hua Xiqian Big Brother for the first time in many years. She was now GK's a young lady, and she didn't want others to misunderstand her, especially Hua Xiqian's gossip. TSK. I've known you for so many years, but this is the first time you've called me Big Brother. I'm going to drink a lot this afternoon just because of what you said. Then, Hua Xiqian opened up the document in front of him, glanced at it, and slowly said, I'm sure everyone knows the purpose of today's meeting. We're here to make a statement and appoint my brother, Mr. Hua Si, as the Deputy General Manager of GK. Although the whole corporation is a family business, we can't do without the support of the shareholders. Therefore, I hope everyone can make a fair decision on this important matter. There's no need to worry, and everyone can say whatever they want. After Hua Xiqian finished speaking, no one said anything. After all, no one wanted to start this conversation. Hua Xiqian smiled and glanced at Hua Zhenghai. Dad, why don't you say something to cheer my brother on? Okay, then I'll say a few words. Si is a big boy, and everyone can see that he has a good character and is humble. Therefore, in order for him to help his brother with the company's workload, I've decided to give him an important task early on. Please support me. After Hua Zhenghai finished speaking, an elder immediately followed suit. I support the chairman's decision. Si has the ability. Everyone, let's begin. Hua Xiqian spread out his hands and smiled slightly. Hua Si leaned back in his chair, wearing a suit. Looking arrogant, he believed that with his father's protection, he would definitely be able to get to this position and then find a chance to kick Hua Xiqian out. Yin and I also support Si. We all believe in him. Everyone, please give him a chance, Shun Jiani said gently. Mian, what do you think? Hua Zhenghai didn't let Huamin off the hook. Huamin seemed to be in a difficult position. It's okay. Just say what you want to say. Don't be afraid. We're all family. Shun Jiani smiled. That smile was so fake that it made people want to vomit. Let me think about it. Let's get everyone to express their opinions first. Huamin smiled. Then the others began to vote. Of course, there were also those who didn't want Hua Si to be promoted easily. After all, he was young and inexperienced. However, the final conclusion was that out of the 16 board members, 10 agreed and 5 disagreed. In the end, only Huamin hadn't voted yet. Mian, have you made up your mind? Shun Jiani asked impatiently. Huamin glanced at Hua Xiqian and saw that he was smiling very proudly. Therefore, she nodded and said, I support Si to be the Deputy General Manager. I believe he can do it. Hua Si looked at Huamin with disdain. Yin smiled proudly. Upon hearing that Huamin finally agreed, Hua Zhenghai and Shun Jiani let out a sigh of relief. Huasiqian smiled as well. Okay, since the result is obvious, I now announce. Mr. Huasi has been elected as the Deputy General Manager of the corporation. At the same time, he will be taking over the renovation of the old houses in the Western City. I hope you won't disappoint everyone. Of course. Thank you, big brother. Huasi stood up and smiled. Everyone applauded. Xiqian, the project in the Western City is too big. If we give it to C, Hua Zhenghai seemed to be worried. Dad, didn't you just say that you believe in C? If you believe in him, then don't worry and let him do it. We have to believe in C's ability. You're right. He's not a child anymore, Huasiqian said as he looked at Hua Zhenghai. After the meeting ended, Huamin was just about to leave when Huasiqian's secretary called out to him. Miss Hua, the president wants to see you. Okay. Huamin stopped in his tracks, turned around, and knocked on the door. Come in. You were looking for me? Huamin asked straightforwardly as soon as he walked in. Sit down. I still have things to do. Huamin refused to sit down. Weren't you pretty good at going against me just now? You were pretty brave when you supported Huasi. What? Are you scared now? Are you scared that I'll teach you a lesson? Huasiqian laughed. Chapter 687. Upon hearing what he said, Huamin laughed. How can you accuse a good person like that? I wasn't helping him. I was helping you indirectly. After all, you allowed him to be the deputy general manager. Oh, when did I allow it? Huasiqian continued to smile meaningfully. Do you think I don't know that aside from the old man, his wife, and his children, everyone else on the board of directors is on your side? I don't think that's their intention. It only means that you allowed Huasi to be the general manager. How can you blame me for that? I was just taking advantage of the situation. Oh my, you're so smart. No wonder you waited until the end to say it. You were looking at everyone else's attitude. What if my people don't agree? What will you say? Are you stupid? If your people don't agree, then it's useless even if I agree. After all, the majority rules, so I won't go against them for now. After all, the time isn't right yet. But I like to kill with a borrowed knife, so it's not a bad idea to help you. Huamin saw through Huasiqian's intentions and even did Hua Zhenghai a favor. He made Xinjiani and the others think that Huamin was on their side. Huamian's IQ was unparalleled, but what was the truth? She already knew that the board of directors meeting was just a gimmick. Huasiqian already allowed Huasi to be the manager, which meant that he was going to teach him a lesson. Sometimes, the higher you fly, the more painful the fall. However, not everyone understood this logic. The old man probably thought that the board of directors still cared about his prestige and reputation. He didn't realize that Huasiqian already had the ability to control the entire situation. Therefore, the whole family was bound to lose. No, the old man and his family were bound to lose. None of them were a match for Huasiqian. Jiang Hong had been raising a ferocious wolf all these years. However, Hua Zhenghai had always treated her like a little lamb. Huamin began to sympathize with these people who couldn't see the situation clearly. Okay, Mian, you're so smart. I like you so much. Huasiqian's eyes were full of admiration. Huamin's thoughts were too comprehensive. She didn't seem like a 24-year-old girl at all. I don't like you. If you want to make a move, hurry up. That way, I won't have to do it myself. Huamin reminded her impolitely. Don't worry. You won't be able to live for long. If God wants you to die, he'll make you go crazy. We'll let that idiot Huasi have his way for a few days. When the time is right, haha, his good days will come to an end. Do you know my favorite game when I was little? Every time I catch a bug, I don't immediately stomp it to death. Instead, I torture it to death bit by bit, because I realize that the process of torturing people is extremely enjoyable. That's because you're a pervert. Society is so messed up. I'm not the only one who's a pervert. Everyone's hearts are twisted. They just don't want to admit it. Okay, that's your problem. We're just dealing with a common enemy. Remember, I was never your ally, and you can't use me. When this is over, I'll leave the whole corporation. I won't take a single cent from you. After speaking, Huamin walked out. Little sister Mian, you're welcome to come home and stay for a while. Huasiqian added, that won't happen again. After Huamin spoke, he left without looking back. Last time, if it weren't for the fact that she wanted to help Qin Chu turn the situation around, would she have made a deal with the devil like Hua Xiqian? Although she stayed at the Hua family for one night and nothing terrible happened, but Huamin still felt unsafe, a faint sense of uneasiness. It was an indescribably bad omen. Mian, let's eat together. I booked a restaurant for C to celebrate. Huamin stopped Hua Zhenghai on the first floor. It's okay, I still have things to do. Then did you make an appointment with Qin Chu for me? That thing. Hua Zhenghai hesitated. Chapter 688. As expected, this old man always had a purpose behind his words. I've already told you. You can make an appointment with your assistants later. Then about Su Yu, you can't help Yin Yin. Annie Shan said she won't let you help for free. She can transfer the ownership of the mansion at Eastern Jiujiang Ecological Park to you. All you need is a referral. Nothing else. I'm sorry, Mr. Hua. I don't know Su Yu that well, and I don't have the ability to take your mansion. It's too expensive. After speaking, Huamin placed her bag on the passenger seat of her Audi R8 and got into the car. Give her a mansion? Ha, does she need one now? Head nurse, I'm sorry to bother you on the weekend. Can you come back for a bit? What's wrong? Huamin picked up the call from a nurse at Southside. A large group of fans and reporters are gathered here. I don't know who spread the rumor that N.I. Yang is here for treatment and that he's suffering from depression. The situation is very chaotic right now. President Wu is in the States and can't come back. There's no one in charge here, so Director Li told me to call you. Wait for me, I'll be right there. Huamin stepped on the gas pedal and sped towards Southside. N.I. Yang's medical records were leaked? Who leaked it? How many people knew about it? When Huamin arrived at Southside, it was indeed a mess. Even someone as calm as her was frightened by the situation in front of her. A large group of fans surrounded the entrance of the hospital. There were also various news outlets and the police, but it seemed like the situation was still in a stalemate. Gao Ran, what's going on? Huamin hadn't seen Gao Ran in days. Seeing that he was giving orders in the middle of the crowd, she went up to him to ask. Don't even mention it. I don't know who leaked the news that N.I. Yang was here to treat his illness, but they're all a mess now. I haven't eaten all morning, and I've been here trying to maintain order. I told them to leave, but they wouldn't listen. These fans are so shameless. Gao Ran complained. This was supposed to be a matter of the police station, but there were too many people, and the police force was not enough. Requesting backup. In order to prevent further trouble, the director had personally ordered him to lead the team here. All right, I'll go in and take a look. What's the situation inside? As Huamin walked in, his phone rang. Sister Huamin? Ancestor. Where are you? Huamin called N.I. Yang a few times on the way, but he couldn't get through. He was also very anxious. I'm trapped on the top floor. I don't dare to go down. Some fans disguised themselves as patients and sneaked into the hospital. What should I do? I can't get out. I still have an interview in the afternoon. Why didn't you tell me you were coming? Huamin was also helpless. Director Li said she'd give me a checkup, so I didn't think much of it. I don't know who leaked the news. Sister Ingzi is mad at Director Li right now. All right, just stand there and don't move. I'll be right there. After Huamin went in, he changed into a white lab coat. Head nurse, you're finally here. Hurry up and take a look. The truth was, Huamin knew that he was just a small mayor and didn't have the ability to stand up for the hospital. Although after Deputy Director Guo's accident, the position of Deputy Director had been empty. However, there were still a lot of leaders who could step in. As for why they didn't step in, it was because they didn't want to take responsibility. After all, this incident was too sensational. If they handled it well, they would feel that they deserved it. If they didn't, they would definitely be punished. Everyone would push Huamin out as cannon fodder for a thankless task like this. This was because they felt that Huamin's current status was too prestigious. Even if something happened to him, President Wu wouldn't blame him for President Qin's sake. Huamin understood them, so he didn't complain, even if he was used as cannon fodder. After she went up to the top floor, she saw N.I. Yang pacing back and forth in the hypnosis room with a mask on. Sister Huamin, you're finally here. What should I do? There's still an hour before the interview starts. I haven't even changed my clothes or put on makeup. It's only half an hour to get to the TV station. What should I do? Chapter 689. If it was any other interview, they could cancel it, but Legend was a live broadcast. They already advertised it, so if they didn't do it, they probably wouldn't be able to do it in the future. Jinlan was a very principled person. Don't worry, I'll think of something. Huamin didn't know what to do. Time was of the essence. Those fans are amazing. They can recognize me no matter what I'm wearing. Even if I'm dressed as a woman, they'll probably recognize me. There's so many people at the entrance of the hospital right now. Not even a fly can get out. And Ai Yang was a bit regretful. It would be a shame if he couldn't get on Legend. Outside the door, his manager, Sister Ingzi, and Director Li were yelling, "How many times do I have to tell you what your hospital is doing? You can't let anyone know about this. It's ridiculous. Now the whole world knows about it. I'm telling you, if there's any negative news about an Ai Yang, I'll sue your hospital and you, the attending doctor." Director Li was an old woman, but she had never seen anything like this. "We've always been good at keeping secrets. I really don't know what's going on." "Don't worry. We can discuss it together." "Discuss what, huh?" "They're blocking our way." Legend started advertising half a month ago, saying that Ai Yang is going to do a live broadcast today. But now, there's only an hour left, and Ai Yang still hasn't left the hospital. There's a sea of people outside. What do you think we should do? Director Li was an old woman, but she didn't know what to do with the hot-tempered Sister Ingzi. She lost her confidence and was about to be overwhelmed. Huamin opened the door and walked out. "Don't trouble Director Li. I have a way to get you guys out." A young lady. Ever since Ingzi found out that Huamin was Qin Chu's wife, she was very polite. She didn't dare to yell like she used to. "Yes, I believe that our hospital is very good at keeping secrets. We'll investigate the source of the leak, but it's not the time for you to worry about that. The interview is more important, so I'll think of a way to get you guys out." Ingzi knew that Huamin would definitely put GK's reputation first, so he definitely wouldn't leak Ai Yang's information. Naturally, he trusted her. "All right, but do you have a solution now? I feel dizzy looking at the people at the door. Even mosquito wouldn't be able to fly out. Those paparazzi aren't ordinary people either. They're the kind of people who want to dig up other people's graves." Sister Ingzi was a little worried. "It's all right. Both of you come with me." Huamin looked at Director Li, who was sweating profusely. "Director Li, you should go and rest first. We'll talk about our hospital later." "All right. Thank you for your hard work, Huamin." Director Li also knew that at this time, no one was willing to stand out. Huamin had no choice but to take up the responsibility. At the very least, he had to protect Ai Yang and Southside. Imperial Star Headquarters, President Su. "Do we need to use public relations to deal with Ai Yang? Why should we mobilize public relations? He's not one of our artists." So you calmly practice calligraphy in the CEO's office. Half an hour ago, Ai Yang's situation blew up, so of course he knew about it. "No, what I meant was, should we send someone over to cause trouble? After all, he's a GK artist," and was still brooding over the fact that Ai Yang originally agreed to sign with Imperial Star, but in the end, he joined GK. He felt wrong for his boss. Women are the ones who kick people when they're down, not me. "You haven't eaten yet, right? Hurry up and go eat." "Yes, boss." After and left, Wei Liao called. "Huamin is also at Southside. Don't you care about him? Ai Yang's illness might be real." "I think Huamin already knew about it. I heard that the interview with Legend is in an hour, but apparently Ai Yang and his agent are stuck at Southside and can't get out. Their RV is surrounded by people. It's so crowded." "What does that have to do with me?" So you asked calmly. "Don't you think that Huamin is always able to turn the tide at a time like this? I'm looking forward to seeing Huamin's performance. Haha." Then Wei Liao hung up the phone. So you put down the unfinished brush in his hand, picked up the remote control, and turned on the TV. On the TV, the situation at Southside was being broadcasted live. "This damn girl seems to have a trick up her sleeve every time." Suyu murmured to himself. He was indeed looking forward to Hua Min's performance. Under these circumstances, how could they help Ni Young break out of the encirclement and get to the TV station? The difficulty level seemed to be 5 stars. Sister Hua Min, you still haven't told us how you're going to help us out. And Ai Young quietly followed behind Hua Min and asked. Chapter 690. Even though he knew that Hua Min was omnipotent, and Ai Young was still worried. After all, they were in too much a hurry. Plus, he would feel bad if he gave Hua Min a hard time. Hua Min, who was walking in front of him, suddenly turned around and looked at him. In all seriousness, he asked, "Are you superstitious?" Like if there's a taboo, I'm not superstitious. And Ai Young shook his head in confusion. "Are you afraid of the dead?" I don't think so. I haven't seen one with my own eyes." And Ai Young wondered why Hua Min kept asking such strange questions. "A young lady. Hurry up and tell me. We're really running out of time." Sister Ingzi kept looking at her watch. She was about to collapse if she offended Jean Lan. She probably wouldn't be able to become a legend anymore. Qin Shu, on the other hand, didn't seem to know the answer to this question. The higher-ups at GK headquarters were holding a closed-off 30-year anniversary party. "Fine, that's all we can do. I hope you won't blame me for being too immoral." Hua Min made up his mind and led Ni Yang and the others to a small, secluded building. There was a big sign on top of the building. And Ai Yang looked up and was dumbfounded. "A morgue? Sister Hua Min, you're not asking me to pretend to be a corpse, right?" And Ai Yang wanted to cry, but had no tears. "No way. It's bad luck to pretend to be a corpse," Sister Ingzi immediately said. Hua Min glanced at them and said calmly, "I'm not asking you to pretend to be a corpse. I'm asking you to follow the corpse truck out. Do you have the guts to do it?" And Ai Yang was dumbfounded again. "We don't have time, let's go." "It's fine, it's just a corpse, it won't." Sister Ingzi made up her mind and said. 5 minutes later, a transport truck carrying corpses slowly exited the hospital from the back door. Although there were a lot of media and fans at the back door, no one doubted the van. And Ai Yang was wearing a white jumpsuit and a mask. He was sitting in the cold storage at the back with his sister Ingzi. In front of them were the driver and the transporter. The body was wrapped in a long black bag. Although it looked scary, Hua Min explained that the deceased was an old man who had died of old age. The body is being transported to the funeral home for cremation. Don't be afraid. Moreover, they did not have to stay in the car for long. As long as they left the hospital and got off the overpass, everything would be fine. An hour later column that everyone paid attention to myths and legends. He knew that Ni Yang was trapped in the Southern District and was waiting for the mythology officials to slap him in the face. As a result, a strange scene occurred. Ni Yang was wearing a handsome coffee-colored trench coat as he sat in the live broadcast room for Jean Lan's interview. In the end, the viewership ratings were N points higher than before. The entrance of the TV station was once again blocked. Is Ni Yang a fucking god? His car was in the hospital, and everyone saw that he was in the hospital and didn't dare to come out. How'd he do that? Can he teleport? Tang Chuan exclaimed in the WeChat group. This is probably Goddess was doing again. Wei Liao laughed. Suya had been silent the entire time, but he felt that if someone could transport Ni Yang out of Southside without anyone noticing, other than that weirdo Hua Min, no one else could have done it. Ni Yang, have a seat. Hello, Sister Jean Lan. Ni Yang actually smiled, which was rare for him. Ever since he received Hua Min's unconventional treatment, he was indeed a lot more cheerful than before. If he was at the peak of his popularity, he would never do interviews because he was afraid that he would say something wrong. Everyone has been paying attention to your contract. Can you tell us why you gave up on Imperial Star and signed with GK instead? Jean Lan's questions were always sharp after she asked. The entire room was in an uproar. Everyone was waiting for Ni Yang's answer. Chapter 691. Imperial Star is the company I wanted to sign with, but something went wrong. Can you tell me what happened that made you make this sudden decision? Jean Lan asked. Ni Yang was silent for 5 seconds. Then He scanned the room and slowly said, "Because I want to help my sister." "Sister? You have a sister?" Jean Lon asked. "No, she's not my biological sister, but she's more like a family member. I respect her." "Then, does your sister have some sort of relationship with GK?" "Yeah, my sister is a young lady from GK." As soon as an Yong finished speaking, the room went into an uproar. Gasps of surprise came from the crowd. "I met her by chance. I thought she was a nice person, so I decided to call her my sister. Didn't her company start a film and television company a while ago? We're close, so it went without saying." And Yong smiled. "I didn't know a young lady was so popular. There were rumors online that you two were close. So, you're siblings. Great, everyone finally knows." After N.I. Yang's livestream ended, it caused quite a stir. However, it also cleared the rumors that Huamin and N.I. Yang had an ambiguous relationship. By the time Qin Chu walked out of the conference room, the problem had already been solved. He listened to Assistant Yang's long-winded explanation from the beginning. Then, he lowered his head and remained silent for 3 seconds before asking, "So, when one of GK's artists is trapped, the company won't do anything, but my wife will? Then what's the point of spending so much money on a PR team? Is it just for show?" Assistant Yang knew that the president was furious from his tone. "Don't worry, sir. A young lady is very capable. She's already solved the problem and successfully transported N.I. Yang out of Southside. I've already spoken to her on the phone. As for N.I. Yang's negative news, it's been covered up by the live stream. The point is, if you need my wife to do everything, do you think I'll bring you home to feed?" It wasn't that Qin Shu didn't want Huamin to interfere with GK's business. He just didn't want his wife to work so hard and always worry about his company. She was already tired enough at Southside. "Boss, it's an emergency. We wanted to find you, but you're in a closed meeting. We can't get in." "Oh, so you're blaming me?" No. I just think that it's a good thing that a young lady can help us." "Boss, please don't be angry. Spread the word. All employees in the PR department will be deducted 50% of their salary this month, and all employees in the PR team under GK Film and Television will be fired." All of them? Is this really okay? Why aren't you going?" Qin Chu glared at him. Yang was so scared that he immediately ran away. The boss didn't get angry easily, but when it did, it was very scary. As soon as the news came out, it immediately became a hot topic on Weibo. Was GK's PR team incompetent? No, they were a gold medal team that had experienced hundreds of battles in dealing with crises. A team that could even whitewash an actor who had cheated. This time, it wasn't because they were incompetent. It was because their young lady was too strong. Who in their right mind would think of hiding N.I. Yang in a corpse cart? It was so terrifying that it was perverted, but Huamin did it. And it was very safe. After dealing with N.I. Yang, Huamin went to find Director Li. "Director, they're the mole in the hospital. I don't like the fact that N.I. Yang's incident was leaked. I suggest we investigate it." "No way. Only you, and President Wu know about this." Director Li shook his head. "Could it be that our database was hacked?" "That's not possible. In order not to attract attention, I even changed N.I. Yang's name, so no one should know." "Director Li, think about it. Other than us, is there really no one else who knows?" "Oh, I remember. There's someone else who knows." Director Li suddenly thought of someone. "Who?" Huamin looked up and asked nervously. Chapter 692. My Chi-Chi. Director Li said slowly. Huamin was speechless. Chi-Chi was Director Li's daughter. She was only 16 years old and was in her first year of high school. If she knew then, go back and ask her. She might be a fan of an Yang. "I hope this isn't an internal problem at our hospital." "MHM, what about the reporters outside? Should we make a statement or something?" Director Li asked, feeling a headache coming on. "There's no need for that. Those people were here for N.I. Yang in the first place, and if we didn't respond, they'd naturally stop bothering us. Also, don't come to Southside for N.I. Yang's treatment in the future. Let's just arrange a private meeting place. We can't ruin him." Huamin was still very protective of N.I. Yang. After all, depression wasn't something to be proud of. Once it was exposed, it would be quite troublesome, and Aiyang finally got a little better, and Huamin hoped that it wouldn't be ruined by these messy external factors. The storm finally calmed down. Huamin stayed for a little while longer, and after seeing that everything was fine, he drove out of Southside. GK headquarters. A young lady, you're here. MHM, what's wrong? Why do you look so down? Huamin felt that Yang wasn't in a good mood today, as if something was on his mind. After the president found out about what happened today, he went crazy and fired the PR team at film and television. The PR staff at GK headquarters were also implicated. Anyways, the president was unhappy the whole afternoon, and we were all scared. Why did he fire so many people? Huamin was shocked, because the president said that if he had to deal with everything, then what was the point of having those people? Okay, let me go take a look. Qin Shu's tantrum caused the entire GK headquarters to be in low spirits. Huamin didn't knock. He directly pushed open the door and walked in. Get out. Qin Shu was in a bad mood. With his back to the door, he leaned back in his chair and pondered. Honey. Huamin opened his mouth. Qin Shu felt like his heart was about to melt. He immediately stood up. Honey, why didn't you call me when you were done? I'll go pick you up. It's okay. I just received a call from the hospital in the afternoon, so I went to deal with it. Huamin had just sat down. Assistant Yang immediately brought over some warm milk and then tactfully left. Honey, did they make you mad today? Huamin asked with a smile. Qin Shu sat beside her and nodded with his arm around her shoulder. Huamin picked up the milk and took a sip. Anger hurts. Come have some milk. As she spoke, she picked up the cup and placed it next to Qin Shu's mouth. However, Qin Shu didn't drink it. Instead, he moved closer to Huamin's lips and kissed her clean. Don't be like this. Huamin blushed. Drinking like this shows my sincerity. Qin Shu smiled. No matter how bad his mood was, as long as he saw Huamin, heard her talk, and saw her smile, Qin Shu suddenly felt like the sky had cleared up. His wife was so magical. Don't be angry because of these things. I don't want you to be angry. You're already tired of being in this position, and you still have to worry about these things every day. I don't have the heart. Huamin raised her hand and gently stroked Qin Shu's slightly furrowed brows. I know. Honey. Just then, Huamin received a text for directly on her phone. Huamian. It was Chi-Chi who did it. She accidentally told her friend about it at school, and those kids didn't watch their mouths and were used by the media. I'm sorry. I almost caused trouble for N.I. Yang in the hospital. Director Li sincerely apologized. After Huamin replied, she looked up and said, Honey, let's go eat. Qin Shu looked at his watch. It's not time yet, honey. There's still an hour left. It's okay. Let's get off work early today. Everyone worked hard for the 30-year anniversary. You should take a break too, okay? Sure. Qin Shu then stood up and called his assistant. Tell everyone to get off work an hour early. Then, Qin Shu and Huamin went downstairs together. Right. Jiang Lin Yue went to T-City to take up her new position, right? Huamin asked Assistant Yang outside the president's office. Chapter 693. It's all in the past, a young lady. Good. Huamin nodded. Jiang Lin Yue was truly an annoying woman. Huamin sent her to work at TNT with one sentence. It was her karma. She claimed to be the president of a subsidiary company, but she was actually just someone who cleaned up a mess after such a huge incident. It was impossible for her to make any progress in a short period of time. However, Jiang Lin Yue was indeed strong-willed. She still hadn't resigned. She still chose to grit her teeth and continue working. An opponent like her was actually quite scary. Halfway home, Qin Shu received another phone call. This time, it was from his father. Chu, come visit your mom when you have time. She's fine, but she's been in the hospital for a long time. I think she's a little out of it today. I got it. After hanging up the phone, Qin Shu's expression was as calm as ever. Why don't you go? Huamin wanted to persuade him. Honey, what do you want to eat? Qin Shu interrupted her. Lingling said that one of her relatives opened a roasted pig trotters. It's pretty good, and she wants us to try it. I'll be a good person to the end. I even helped her make an appointment with Gao Ran. Speaking of which, it's been a while since the four of us got together. Yeah, it's rare that we have time. Chin Chu smiled. When the two arrived, they parked their car, but they still couldn't find the so-called little idiot pig trotters. Huamin called Zhu Lingling again. However, Zhu Lingling said that Gao Ran would be able to find it. Sure enough, the Jaguar was parked behind their Maybach. Gao Ran didn't even have time to change out of his police uniform. Hello, guys. Lingling said that you would be able to find it. Where's this place? Huamin was confused. Oh, it's in the residential area. Go through this alley. Then turn left and walk 50 meters. Then turn right and you'll see it. It's so secluded. How can anyone eat in this area? Don't tell me you've lost everything. Huamin sighed. Good wine doesn't fear deep alleys. I heard that this restaurant was on a local food show. Business is very good. There are often no seats, and people have to line up. You often come here with Zhu Lingling, right? Chin Chu glanced at Gao Ran and asked faintly. No, it's my first time here. It's your first time here, but you're already so familiar with the roads. Your brain is better than a god map. Chin Chu mocked him. Ha, hubby, you're so annoying. Don't be so direct. At least give us, the people's police, some face. He doesn't need to give me face. His skin is thick enough. Damn it. Chin Chu, your second uncle, you're starting to pretend in front of me, aren't you? It's your treat today. I'm going to eat a few more pig trotters. Then they walked into the alley together. Sure enough, after turning left and right at the end of the alley, they saw a wooden sign with the words Little Idiot Pig Trotters written on it. With this name, no one is as smart as Idiot. Idiot is enough, but they added Pig Trotters. Are they afraid that they're not stupid enough? Haha, their chef isn't stupid at all. She just looks silly and friendly. She's the sister-in-law of Venomous Tongueling's third cousin. Damn it, they're not even close. Huamin was speechless. As soon as the three of them walked in, Zhu Lingling came out to greet them. She wore the simplest outfit today, a white Adidas sweatshirt, black sweatpants, white sneakers, and a ponytail. She looked very girly. Gao Ran stared at her for a while. Huamin coughed lightly and teased her. You're dressed so beautifully. Do you have ulterior motives? Go away. When am I not beautiful? Come and sit. I've already ordered good food. I want 2 more pig trotters because Mr. Chin is paying today. Look at you. 2 pig trotters are enough to make you eat. Zhu Lingling glared at Gao Ran. Mr. Chin is paying. You guys can eat as much as you want. It'll be a waste if you don't eat. Huamin smiled. How can you cheat your husband like this? Chin Chu lovingly pinched her face. Huamin smiled like a blooming flower. She didn't notice that someone was staring at her beautiful face. Lord Su, should we go somewhere else? Tang Chuan, the foodie, heard his friend recommend this place, so he couldn't wait to bring Su Yu, Wei Liao, and the others here. He didn't expect Huamin and the others to be here as well. What was that saying again? Enemies often cross paths. Chapter 694. It's okay, this place is fine. After speaking, Su Yu strode over and sat down at a small wooden table. Tang Chuan and Wei Liao followed him. Chin Chu turned his head and saw Su Yu. He nodded and greeted him with the most basic greeting. Su Yu wasn't rude, so he nodded and greeted Chin Chu back. Huamin was laughing when she saw Su Yu sitting across from her. She immediately stopped smiling, turned around, and obediently walked over to Chin Chu. She didn't have much feelings for Su Yu, but the way Su Yu looked at her made the entire world jealous, no matter if she cried, laughed, hit, or threw a tantrum. Su Yu seemed to like it all, and he always looked at her affectionately. Huamin couldn't stand the look in his eyes, and she felt a lot of pressure. So, most of the time, whenever she looked at Su Yu, she would subconsciously look away. Wei Liao, on the other hand, was quite proactive. He walked over and smiled. Huamin, Jiang Shaowei's engagement party is tomorrow, right? Yes. Okay, I got it. Are you going? Huamin looked at Wei Liao strangely. Yes, but I'm not going to steal the bride. Don't worry. Wei Liao seemed to know that the man Jiang Shaowei was getting engaged who was related to Gao Ran, so he said this with a deeper meaning. Then he left. He just wanted to make sure that he remembered the date correctly. Jiang Xiaowei? Don't tell me you guys are talking about my cousin, Du Jianan's fierce fiancé. Gao Ren knew Jiang Xiaowei and Du Jianan, and he knew about the engagement party tomorrow. He was just a little curious. How did Wei Liao know Jiang Xiaowei? To be honest, Gao Ren really didn't like Su Yu and the others in his eyes. Those people were all money-burning playboys. Although Gao Ren was also rich, he had sacrificed a lot to get to where he was today. Sir, how does she know Wei Liao? Gao Ren took a sip of beer and asked. I don't know. Huomin didn't want to talk about this because what happened that day was like a prank. It might affect Jiang Xiaowei and Wei Liao's reputation. Gao Ren was a smart man. Seeing that Huomian didn't want to talk about it, he didn't want to ask. Who's Jiang Xiaowei? What does she have to do with you? Are you hitting on girls again? Zhu Lingling didn't understand half of what was going on, so she asked sourly. Before Gao Ren could explain, Huomin said on purpose, Yeah, she's Gao Ren's old flame. Damn, Huomin, you tricked your husband, and now you're tricking me. You're going to change your name to Hua Trapper tomorrow. Huh? Huomin couldn't help but laugh again. Su Yu couldn't help but look over. He didn't know how a girl like Huomin could laugh so recklessly and without any pretense. Her laughter was even a little devilish. She didn't pay attention to her own imagination, but it was too real. No wonder Qin Shu liked her so much. He liked her too. Su Yu quietly picked up the beer on the table and took a big gulp. Lord Su, take it easy. The food hasn't been served yet. This restaurant's pork trotters are delicious, Tang Chuan gushed. However, Su Yu didn't seem to be in the mood to listen. His heart was completely focused on Huomin. Sea City wasn't that big, but the chances of them bumping into each other seemed to be increasing. Since Qin Shu announced Huomin's identity, she might be attending many events as GK's a young lady in the future. However, was this what Su Yu wanted? Did he want her to be by another man's side every time he saw her? Did he want her to hold another man's hand and torture him together? Just then, the pork trotters arrived. Perhaps because there were too many dishes on the plate, one of the roasted pork trotters accidentally slipped off. It fell right next to Huomin's hand, burning her pinky finger. Qin Shu and Su Yu's expressions changed upon hearing her scream. Chapter 695. Huomian reacted quickly. She jumped up the moment she was scalded. When she realized what was going on, she rushed to the sink. He repeatedly washed the scalded area with cold water. Luckily, it wasn't too serious, just a few red marks. By the time the others realized what had happened, Huomin had already returned to his original spot. Why are you all looking at me like that? Huomin noticed that the other 3 people at the table were all looking at him strangely. Let me see. Mr. Qin's heart ached for Huomin. He carefully took Huomin's hand and carefully examined it. He was relieved when he saw that there weren't any major problems. I'm sorry, sis. I'm really sorry. The person who served the dishes was a young boy around 18 or 19 years old. He looked dirty, but his eyes were sincere. It's okay. You didn't do it on purpose. Huomin smiled. I'm going to buy some burn cream. You eat first. Then, without waiting for anyone to speak, Qin Shu got up and left. Zhu Lingling gave him a thumbs up. China's best husband. Girl, I realize that your brain doesn't even belong to a human. You immediately knew how to treat the scalded area. Sis, I'm a medical student. How can I not know this? But you reacted too quickly. I'm not trying to fool you. The guy who served the dishes didn't realize that you were scalded until you came back from washing your hands. Ha. Huomin laughed heartily again. Su Yu couldn't help but walk over. How are you? Are your chicken feet okay? Would it kill you to not speak properly? Huomin retorted. You reacted pretty quickly. With your IQ, it wouldn't be surprising if you lived to 100 years old, Su Yu exclaimed calmly. I don't want to live that long. I'll be lonely, Huomin pouted and said. You could come up with 100 reasons for everything I say. Look at your mouth and logical thinking. You're really something else, Su Yu said helplessly. Zhu Lingling and Gao Ren exchanged glances, but neither of them said anything. They felt that Su Yu taking advantage of Qin Shu's absence to flirt with a girl was a bit Don't think that I'm here because Qin Chu isn't here. If he's here, I'll do the same. It's fine as long as I see that you're fine. Otherwise, I'd have to worry about being bored. Let's go. I'm not eating anymore. I didn't manage to eat the pig trotters and almost ate the chicken feet. Suyu was hinting at Hua Min's injury. In the end, before the dishes they ordered were served, the few of them left, leaving behind 1,000 yuan. They were rich and overbearing. Rich people are really capricious. They can choose not to eat the good food and still pay for it. Zhu Lingling sighed with emotion. Isn't it just burning money? Who doesn't? Then why don't you burn one? Zhu Lingling teased Gao Ran. I'm not that kind of person. Don't compare me to those wastrels. Who's a wastrel? Please, go and ask around. How much does Imperial Star make in a year? So you can burn a few million yuan a day. Imperial Star is currently a well-known and leading company in China. I heard that it's going to be listed in the US soon. So, if you call him a wastrel, it means that you're jealous of him. Me? Jealous of him? Are you kidding me? He's just a stud horse. What stud horse? I heard that Suyu has changed a lot recently. He doesn't get close to women anymore. Gao Ran looked at Hua Min with a complicated expression. Then, he pointed out something else. Anyways, if I were a woman, I wouldn't be with Suyu. If I wanted to find someone, I'd find someone like Qin Shu, a loyal dog. If I'm a loyal dog, then what are you? A donkey? Qin Shu came back at some point. He was standing behind Gao Ran. You heard him. He said that if he were a woman, he'd find someone like you. Zhu Lingling said playfully. Other than Mian, I don't want anyone else. Qin Shu sat down proudly. Then, he opened the burn ointment and carefully applied it on Hua Min's wounds. Hua Min ate the roasted pig trotters with one hand, while Qin Shu applied ointment with the other. It was such a pleasure. Every time we eat, you always torture us, don't you? Gao Ran complained with a bone in his mouth. You can torture us too. Bullshit. How can we torture you guys? You guys are already at the pinnacle of torturing single people. No one can surpass you. Girl, are you pregnant yet? It's been so long. Zhu Lingling suddenly thought of a very serious problem. Chapter 696. Not yet. Hua Min answered honestly. You guys should hurry up and make babies. Gao Ran chimed in. Then you guys should hurry up too. We can make babies together. Maybe we'll be in-laws in the future. Upon hearing Hua Min's words, Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling were shocked beyond words. What are you talking about? We haven't even started dating yet. Zhu Lingling immediately defended herself. If you call that not even dating after sleeping with him, then what are married people like us? Are we dating? Hua Min laughed. Gosh, don't spread rumors. Nothing happened between us last time. Gao Ran was sweating profusely. Qin Shu added, yeah, nothing happened between the two of you. You guys just ate sunflower seeds the whole night. Okay? Ha ha. Hua Min almost wanted to give her husband a thumbs up and started laughing devilishly again. Gao Ran was speechless. Zhu Lingling was speechless. Excuse me, Mr. Qin, but can we still have fun? Zhu Lingling asked with a confused expression. You guys have to admit that you're having an affair first. We can still have fun together. You have to be honest, Hua Min said. Gao Ran was speechless. Zhu Lingling was speechless. It's good that you guys are married. Otherwise, no one else in the world can control either of you. That's scary, Gao Ran exclaimed. Then, they continued to eat and drink. Hua Min wasn't affected by the burn. Inside a Mercedes-Benz RV, Suyu, Wei Liao, and Tang Chuan sat in the back, listening to the sounds and drinking red wine. I'm so hungry. I should have eaten before leaving. I left 1,000 yuan behind and didn't even get to eat anything. I felt so pretentious, Tang Chuan complained. Then you can go back and eat. Lord Su's heart almost broke when he saw Hua Min get burned. How could he be in the mood? Wei Liao laughed. You're still in the mood to laugh? Isn't Jiang Xiaowei getting engaged tomorrow? Why would I cry? Plus, there's nothing going on between us, Wei Liao said with a faint smile. Suyu didn't say anything and quietly looked out the window. When Hua Min got burned, he really did stand up, but then he suddenly realized that he didn't have the right. He didn't even have the right to greet her as a friend. Huamian once said that they weren't even friends, but why did his heart still hurt so much when he saw her burn? It was so painful. It was as if he was the one who got burned. Was he poisoned too deeply? Lord Su, don't feel bad. Huamian is fine. It's just a burn. Plus, look at how fast that girl reacted. She ran like a rabbit. I only realized she was burned after she was done. Haha. Wei Liao comforted him. So you didn't say anything. He didn't seem to be interested in anything. They were just about to happily eat poor trotters when they bumped into Huamian. He didn't know if it was fate or disaster. Wei Liao felt more and more that Su Yu couldn't extricate himself. His feelings for Huamian were getting deeper and deeper with each passing day. But the worst part was that he was restraining himself. He didn't want to be too high profile because he didn't want to cause trouble for Huamian. That was why he had been holding it in. With his fiery temper, it was really hard for him to hide his feelings. Lord Suam, you've been holding it in for too long. I think you need a vent. You don't like the women in your company. Why don't we go abroad and look for foreign girls? Also, I know a few managers from famous groups in Korea. You can pick any girl you want. They're cheaper than in China. Chapter 697. You two go ahead. I'm not interested, Su Yu said quietly as he lowered his head. You go ahead. I'm not interested either. Wei Liao smiled. Then let's go to Seductive Fox for a drink. Tang Chuan suggested again. I'm going home today. You guys go ahead. Upon hearing that Su Yu was going home, the driver immediately drove him back to the Su family mansion. Ever since Su Yu became independent, he rarely returned home. Perhaps it was because he was used to being independent. When he was in the military, he basically only returned home once every 2 years. Lady Su missed her son so much that she would secretly go to the military to see him. But today, he really wanted to pick her up. For some reason, perhaps an injured child needed the comfort of a family. When Su Yu returned home, it was only 8 p.m. The Su family had just finished dinner. Lady Su was flattered when she saw her son. Son, have you eaten yet? No. Mom, I'm a bit hungry. Come sit here and eat something to fill your stomach. I'll ask Xiaoru to make you some dishes. Mom, I just want to eat your egg fried rice. Son, what's wrong? Su Yu was not a mother's boy, so he never acted like a spoiled child. When he was 7 years old, he fought with other kids and was badly injured. When he returned home, he was whipped by his father. Even then, he never acted like a spoiled child to his parents. But today, he actually said that he wanted to eat his mother's egg fried rice. Lady Su didn't cook much, so her fried rice was very ordinary. Su Yu actually missed the familiar taste. I'm fine, Mom. I'm just hungry. Okay. Wait here. Mom will make you fried rice. Madam, let me do it. The nanny was scared when she saw Madam Su enter the kitchen. It's okay, I'll do it. Lady Su rarely cooked for her son, so she didn't want to miss this opportunity. 20 minutes later, a plate of egg fried rice was placed on the coffee table. The color wasn't good, and there was even a burnt smell. It was probably overcooked. However, Su didn't say anything as he picked it up and ate like crazy. He ate with relish. Son, how is it? Lady Su asked nervously. It's delicious. Thank you, Mom. The relationship between Su Yu's family members was very interesting. Lady Su was very gentle. Father Su was very strict, and Lord Su was both kind and strict. The Su family was strict, but they generally wouldn't interfere with Su Yu. The Su family would never do something like Lady Qin, who gave herself an interview and slapped her son in the face. Su Yu finished the plate of fried rice in just a few bites. Is it enough? Do you want me to make you some more? Mrs. Su looked at her son with concern. No need, I'm full. Do you want some fruit? Today, your grandfather's old subordinate came over from Guangyuan with a lot of fresh lychees. Shall I ask Xiaoru to wash some for you? I don't feel like eating. What about tea? The new Hong Pao that your dad bought smells really good. It's premium. I don't feel like drinking it. After Su Yu finished the egg fried rice, he realized that he was still in a bad mood. Inexplicably bad. No matter what his mother said, he wasn't interested at all. Son, is there something on your mind? Lady Su sat beside Su Yu with a white shawl and asked with concern. Yes. Is it about the girl you told me about last time? How did you know? Suyu tilted his head and looked at his mother in surprise. Of course, I gave birth to you. You crawled out of my stomach. How could I not know what you're thinking? Lady Su smiled. Suyu lowered his head and didn't say anything. That girl, she doesn't like you? Lady Su probed. Chapter 698. Yeah, that's normal. There are so many people in the world, and they all have different personalities. It's normal for them to not like you back. Lady Su smiled. It's not that simple. Can you tell, Mom? Lady Su looked at him expectantly. No, okay. She knew that this little brat wouldn't give in so easily. Mom, I'm a little tired. I'm going to sleep. Okay. Is Grandpa home? No, he's in a meeting in Jing City. Your dad's in the study. Then forget it. My dad's too old-fashioned. I'll feel even more depressed if I talk to him. I'm going to sleep now. Good night, Mom. At 9 o'clock, Suyu lay in bed to rest. After returning to the mansion, he realized that it was much better than his mansion because it didn't feel as empty. He didn't know what was wrong with him today, but he was inexplicably pessimistic. It felt like a woman on her period, although he didn't know what it felt like to be on one's period. He felt so depressed that he couldn't breathe. He suddenly realized that he might never be able to get Huamin in this lifetime. Even if he could hold her hand, he might never have the chance to do so. Because Qinshu took care of her in every possible way, and that kind of love was accumulated over time. It was a level that he couldn't reach right now, and it was beyond his reach. He lay in bed, took out his phone, unlocked it, and looked at it for a while. Then he logged onto Weibo and clicked on Huamin's private message. He typed in 6 words, Huamin, I like you. But after writing it, he felt that it was inappropriate, so he deleted it. After deleting it, he wrote it again and deleted it again. After struggling for more than 10 minutes, he finally deleted all of his messages and logged out. It wasn't that he was a coward and didn't dare to confess again, but he was afraid that she would distance herself from him. After logging on to WeChat, he saw that someone had posted a chicken soup for the soul. If it's just friendship, then be good friends. Don't be too greedy, because love is too extreme. It's either forever or a stranger. So you gave a rare like below the post. That guy was ecstatic and immediately replied, which place is Lord Su having fun at? So you didn't reply either. Then he closed his eyes and forced himself to sleep. He did not want to think about it anymore. No matter how heavy or depressing today was, after a good night's sleep, tomorrow would be a new day. After finishing the pork trotters, they were in a good mood. Gao Ran suggested, Tycoon Sheen, why don't you give us a lucky red packet? Therefore, Gao Ran, the godly scammer, immediately created a WeChat group and added the 4 of them. Qin Shu sent a red envelope. Huamin's hands were quick. He immediately clicked on it. It was only 38. Zhu Lingling was second, but she only scored 22 points. However, Gao Ran, this scammer, finally opened it unhurriedly. To his surprise, there was 140 yuan. Isn't 200 yuan a little too little? It doesn't fit your status as the president, Gao Ran said greedily. Huamin immediately looked at him with disdain. The most I can give is 200 yuan at a time. How can you be a police officer with your IQ? I wonder if your ancestors' graves are smoking. Zhu Lingling also mocked him. Gao Ran was speechless. Before he could say anything, Qin Shu sent a few more red envelopes in a row. A rain of red envelopes. Each one was 200 yuan. The 3 of them had a great time fighting over the red envelopes. In the end, Huamin's fingers were tired. He said, No, I'm not playing anymore. My fingers hurt and my eyes are blurry. You're worried about your husband giving away his money, right? Gao Ran laughed. It's easy for you to say that. Give me a rain of red envelopes. Huamin estimated that Mr. Qin's rain of red envelopes was at least 6,000 yuan. Everyone was simply dazzled by this. I'm rich. I didn't eat pork trotters for nothing. I got more than 3,000 yuan. Zhu Lingling said happily as she waved her phone. Huamin was just about to say something when his phone rang. Mian, come to the seafood restaurant on Ba Dao Street. Jixin was beaten up. Huang Yu's voice sounded like she was about to cry. Huamin's expression immediately changed when he heard this. What's wrong? Qin Shu asked when he saw that something was wrong with her. Jixin is in trouble. Huamin didn't wait for anyone to react and immediately rushed out. Qin Shu took out a few thousand yuan from his wallet and placed it on the table. Then he followed Huami on. Chapter 699. Let's go, we'll follow them. Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling followed behind Qin Shu in their car. The four of them arrived at a seafood restaurant on Ba Dao Street. Ba Dao Street was a messy place, but there was a seafood restaurant there that sold delicious food for commoners. Most importantly, it was cheap, therefore a lot of people liked to eat there. Huamin and Qin Shu often went to high-end restaurants, so they wouldn't go to a small restaurant like this. However, Jixin was different. He wouldn't burn money just because his sister married into a rich family. Huang Yu wanted to eat seafood, so he brought her here. However, something happened here. Because Jixin had major head surgery, Huamin was very worried about her brother. Her hands were shaking the entire way, and she was panicking. Qin Shu held Huamin's hand as he drove. Don't be scared, he'll be fine. Honey, can we go faster? Huamin's voice was shaking as well. Qin Shu ran red lights the entire way, and finally, they arrived at Ba Dao Street, which wasn't too far away. At the entrance of the restaurant, Jing Jixin was lying on the ground, and Huang Yu was beside him, sobbing. There were a lot of onlookers. Huamin got out of the car and rushed over, pushing the crowd aside. Jixin, she felt like her heart was in her throat, about to jump out of her chest. Sis, I'm fine. Jing Jixin's eyebrows were bleeding, and the corner of his mouth was bruised. Let's go to the hospital first. Sis, I'm really fine. It's just some superficial wounds. We don't need to go to the hospital. Mian, I tried to persuade him for a long time, but he wouldn't let me go. Huang Yu kept crying. I said we're going to the hospital. You have to listen to me. Huamin roared at Jing Jixin for the first time. She couldn't bear to scold her beloved little brother. However, this time, she actually yelled at him in front of so many people. Even Qin Shu and Gao Ran, who were behind him, were a little scared. My girl is mad. Zhu Lingling had known Huamin for so many years, but she had rarely seen her lose control of her emotions like this. Seeing that his sister was angry, Jing Jixin didn't dare to say anything else. Qin Shu and Gao Ran stepped forward and helped him into the car. Then, the group went to the first hospital, outside the emergency room. How is it? Huamin, don't worry. Your brother is fine. It's just some superficial wounds. Is your head okay? We took a CT scan. Everything is normal. The doctors at the first hospital were very familiar with Huamin and comforted her. Thank goodness, thank goodness. Huamin was scared out of his wits. If something happened to Jixin, she didn't know how to explain it to her mother. Upon hearing that Jixin was fine, Huamin felt his entire body go limp. He finally let out a sigh of relief. Qin Shu was just about to comfort him when he heard someone yell, "Young master, why are you here?" It turned out that one of the Qin family's maids went out to buy supper for Lady Qin. When she came back, she happened to see Qin Shu upstairs. Yeah, Qin Shu nodded. Young master, are you here to see your mother? Come with me. She misses you a lot. The maid had no idea that Qin Shu was here to see his mother. Qin Shu was just about to refuse when Huamin said, "You go first. I'll wait for you here." Okay, wait for me. I'll be down soon. Qin Shu also thought that since he was already here, he might as well go take a look. After all, his dad personally called him. Hearing that his mother was really sick, he wanted to go take a look, but that didn't mean that he would forgive her. Qin Shu was determined to fight a long battle with his mother. As long as she didn't accept Huamin, he wouldn't forgive her. Hearing that Jing Jixin was fine, Huamin was finally no longer worried. She raised her head and looked at Huang Yu. She looked exhausted. Tell me, what happened between you two at Ba Dao Street? Chapter 700. Mian, it's all my fault. I wanted to eat seafood, and Jixin said it was cheap there. The crabs are fresh too, but we didn't expect to run into Huasi and the others there. Huasi? Huamin frowned slightly. That's right. Huasi and a few other men were driving by and saw us picking seafood at the entrance. They got out of the car to pick on us and make fun of us. Huasi even flirted with me. I think he was drunk. Anyway, Jishin was very angry and started fighting with them. After a round of punches and kicks, they left in a black Ferrari. The license plate was, "I got it." Huamin interrupted her and got up. "Take good care, Jishin. When he comes out, tell him to go back to school." "What about you?" "Huang, you felt a little uneasy." "I'm fine. I'm going out for some fresh air." When Huamin came out, Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling immediately surrounded him. "Is your brother okay?" "Yeah, it's just some scratches." "You guys should go back. It's pretty late." "Where's Qin Shu?" Gao Ran was confused. "His mother is also hospitalized here. He's upstairs. We'll be leaving soon." "Okay, we'll meet another day." Seeing that everything was fine, Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling left as well. After watching them leave, Huamin quickly went downstairs and hailed a cab. "Where are you going?" "Around all the nightclubs. I'm looking for a Ferrari with the license plate number CE2110. Huamin didn't need Huang Yu to tell him a license plate number because she had seen him drive it a couple of times at the first hospital VIP room. "I thought you didn't want to come?" Lady Qin was happy to see her son, but she pretended to be angry. "Are you okay?" "It's best if he's dead. Then no one will cause trouble for you guys," Lady Qin said angrily. "Why don't you go to the US with my dad to recuperate?" "I'm not going. I'm not leaving. Don't even think about chasing us away and then having fun with that little vixen. Son, she's tricking you. One day, she'll make our family lose everything, you know? I've already looked for a fortune teller. He said that the two of you aren't compatible at all. Your 8 characters are against each other, and there will be many disasters. Son, you can't be so stubborn. You must be tired. Go to bed early." Qin Chu looked helpless. Seeing that his mother was still like this, he couldn't be bothered to say anything more. "Young master, you're leaving now? Take good care of her." With that, Qin Chu turned and left. When she went downstairs, she didn't see Huamin in the hallway. Only Jing Jixin sat there with his head bandaged. Beside him was Huang Yu. "Where's Mian?" "My sister?" "I don't know. You said she went downstairs to see Gao Ran and the others off." Jing Jixin looked confused. Qin Chu immediately took out his phone and dialed Gao Ran's number. "We're all leaving." "Huamin?" "She said she was leaving with you after she saw me off." Qin Chu hung up and immediately called Huamin. "Sorry, the subscriber you have dialed is unavailable." "Oh no." Qin Chu felt uneasy. He had a feeling that something was about to happen. "Brother-in-law, what's wrong? Where's my sister?" Jing Jixin asked. "She might have gone to avenge you," Qin Chu said and immediately rushed downstairs. "What? Avenge?" Jing Jixin and Huang Yu were both dumbfounded. Huamin didn't like Huasi for a long time. However, he didn't want to talk to him. After all, he couldn't stoop to the level of a mad dog. Huasi was just supporting him in the whole corporation's board of directors. But now, he was bullying Jixin. Jixin was Huamin's little brother, and no one could touch him. Outside Tianyi nightclub, "Sir, stop here." Huamin immediately saw the flashy Ferrari. She elegantly got out of the car, took out a hair tie from her pocket, and tied her hair up. Then, she walked step by step towards Tianyu. Chapter 701. Sky Nightclub was the second biggest nightclub after Seductive Fox. However, unlike Seductive Fox, the management was a mess. People often got drunk and caused trouble. It had become a gray area for police officers. Huamin didn't want Qin Chu to come with her because there were too many people here. If someone saw them, it would affect Qin Chu's reputation. However, she was different because Hu Zhenghai just acknowledged her status a few days ago. She was part of the Hu family. Even if she had a dispute with Huasi, it was still an internal matter. After what happened with Zhou Guangming and Seductive Fox, Huamin was no longer impulsive. Even at this moment, she was furious and wanted to tear that scumbag Huasi apart. However, she still wanted to follow the plan. "Miss, please wait." A waiter stopped her at the door to the top floor. "I'm Huasi's sister. I'm here to talk to him." "Oh, you're here for young Master Hua." He's in room E10. The waiter saw that Huamin was alone. Therefore, he let his guard down. Huamin smiled and nodded. Then, she walked towards room E10. When she reached the door, she didn't go in. Instead, she looked around. She realized that there was an air vent not far from here. Above, it was the rooftop. Huamin walked to a dark corner in the hallway. Then, she took out a lighter and played with it. She knew Huasi too well. Therefore, she believed that she only needed to wait for him to come out. Sure enough, 3 minutes later, Huasi walked out drunk with a hot girl. The two of them kissed all the way down the hallway. Then, they walked to a dark corner in the hallway. Neither of them noticed Hua Min's presence. Therefore, when Huasi's hand reached toward the hot girl's butt, Hua Min suddenly spoke up. Huasi-qian, why are you so slow? Aren't you afraid that Huasi-qian will kill you sooner or later? Who is it? Huasi turned around drunkenly. The hot girl was also scared out of her wits. Why is there someone here? It's you, Hua Min said in disdain after he saw who it was. Obviously, he wasn't so drunk that he didn't know anything. Do you dare to come up here and have a chat with me? Of course, if you're scared, you can ask your hot girlfriend to go back and find your companions to give you courage. Hua Min knew Huasi's temper too well, so he only used a little provocation. You think I'm afraid of you? What a joke. Even if there were 10 of you, I wouldn't be afraid of you. After Huasi finished speaking, he staggered towards Hua Min. Huashao. The hot girl called out quietly. You could go back first. Don't talk nonsense. For the sake of his dignity, he did not allow women to talk nonsense. The woman looked at Hua Min, but didn't recognize her. She thought she was one of Hua Min's ex-girlfriends who was looking for trouble. Therefore, he turned around and left with his tail between his legs. Hua Min smiled complacently. He turned around and walked through the door of the corridor, going up to the rooftop of the Tianyu Tower. There were a total of 10 floors in the Heaven Realm. This was the 10th floor. Although it wasn't high, it was still quite scary to look down at this late hour. Huasi-qian staggered up to the rooftop with Hua Min. The cold wind sobered him up quite a bit. What? Are you here to get revenge for your brother? Huasi asked provocatively. Hua Min's back was facing him, and he only said one word. Yes. Ha! Look at your status. Do you think you can touch me? Do you really think you're a big shot now that you're back in the Hua family? Let me tell you, Dad said that you'll always be a dog that we use a dog, understand? That you're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.